Chapter 965. I took a year's leave back then, so it's less than a month now, Sima Yue said. I'll leave after most of them are detoxified and distributed. I still need to refine some antidote pills before I leave. So fast. Aunt E and Shimanchi were surprised. There's something I need to do at the academy, so I have to go back. Sima Yue said, I'll come back after I've settled the things there. Don't worry. Leave this place to us. Shiman Feng said. There are more than 2,000 people who have already taken the antidote. I will let them out in a while and you guys will make arrangements for them. Sima Yue said, if they don't obey, you can let Old Bai take care of them. From what you said, that Old Bai should be a very powerful person. Will he listen to us? Andy asked. I've already spoken to Old Bai. He will help to manage the sect. Sima Yue said, don't worry and go look for him. All right. Contact me if you need anything. If you can't get in touch, go to Brother Qin or Shenyuan Pavilion. Sima Yue said. All right. After discussing with everyone, she brought the 2,000 people out of the little realm. Then she went to the Spirit Pagoda with Wu Lingyu and prepared to refine pills. Little Spirit Little Spirit and Ling Long appeared together. The two of them could be considered as a pair now. Her condition is stable. Do you want to visit her? Since the situation is good, I won't go. Sima Yue said, Senior brother and I still have to rush to refine pills. Help me pay attention to the situation outside. Okay. Little Spirit replied and disappeared together with Ling Long. With Wu Lingyu's help, the efficiency of this pill refining was very high. With the two of them added together, they refined more than 1,000 pills in 10 days. The two of them cultivated inside for 100 days and refined more than 10,000 antidote pills. Sima Yue had to admit that Wu Lingyu was better than her. In the same amount of time, he was able to refine more pills than her. His success rate in every furnace was much higher than hers. Moreover, he looked relaxed, but she was a little tired after refining so much. Thinking back to when he was still a soul body, he was already very powerful. Now that his soul and body had merged into one, refining pills would be a piece of cake. More than 10,000 pills, that should be enough, she muttered as she looked at the shelves full of pills. It's enough. You won't call out everyone in the little realm right now. What we're refining right now is what they need. Wu Lingyu said. Sima Yue nodded and kept the elixirs into her space ring. Both of them then left the Spirit Pagoda. When he saw so many detoxification pills, even Shiman Feng was surprised. He didn't expect them to be able to refine so many in such a short time. These are the antidote pills and these are the other pills. These are the treasures from the Ninth Star Ocean that Foster Father and the others sent. Sima Yue handed a few space rings to Shiman Feng. Senior brother and I will go and build the mine first. As for the array here, after explaining everything clearly, she let Wu Lingyu bring her to the place on 3rd Mo's map. It's our first time going to this place, so there will be some deviation. Wu Lingyu explained as he brought Sima Yue to an unfamiliar place and realized that this was not their destination. Then this place should be nearby. Sima Yue looked around and said, this place is a little far from Heartbreak Valley. To build a stable space tunnel, the requirements for the array are a little high. It will probably take some time. Sima Yue said, let's find that mine first. Wu Lingyu recalled the map in his mind and then flew into the air to observe. He pointed in a direction and said, 100,000 kilometers ahead. Then let's go over. Sima Yue said. You trust my judgment so much? Wu Lingyu raised his eyebrows. Of course. Sima Yue said, when I can rely on you, I won't be polite. She was independent, but she knew how to rely on others. She also liked having someone to rely on when she was tired. She also liked not having to think about anything and letting others do everything for her. He was the person she wanted to rely on. After flying 100,000 kilometers in the direction that Wu Lingyu pointed out, they indeed saw the mine that 3rd Mo pointed out. This mine isn't big, but it's enough to support a sect for many years. Sima Yue sighed. That guy gave away such a big mine just like that. It made her feel quite pressured. Are you touched? Wu Lingyu said sourly. Yes, very touched. Sima Yue said. Seeing his long face, she added, but that's the feeling between friends. Then what about me? What about you? What do you think? Are you sure you want to compare yourself to them? Sima Yue asked back. Wu Lingyu narrowed his eyes and looked at her. Seeing the teasing look in her eyes, he grabbed her head and kissed her deeply. Sima Yue was thinking that this was Mo Sha's signature move when this guy kissed her. She was slightly stunned. Then she put her hands around his neck and took the initiative to return his kiss. After a long while, he finally let go of her. Their lips moved in a flirtatious manner. You're such a torturous little vixen. Wu Lingyu said, why don't we get married? Get married? Sima Yue was a little surprised that he would bring this up at this time. I want you to be my wife, not just a normal partner. Wu Lingyu said. He wanted her, but he also wanted to give her a complete life. We just started dating. Why are we getting married so early? Sima Yue said, I have to observe carefully and see if you're a competent boyfriend. If you're not, I'll change you. Then you won't have the chance to change. So confident? What if I don't like you one day? If you dare to be with someone else, I'll kill him. If you find someone, I'll kill them. Then you won't be able to change. Wu Lingyu said domineeringly. You're really the Devil King style. So domineering. Although she was criticizing him, she wasn't angry. I've always been this domineering. It's been more than 10 years. Don't you understand? Wu Lingyu played with her hair. I thought that your souls would change a little after fusing. The result didn't change at all. She sighed. The fusion didn't eliminate us. It just merged the two parts. Wu Lingyu said, our personalities didn't disappear. They were just hidden by me. Anyway, it's the same to me. Sima Yue said, all right, we have to prepare the array. You stay here. I'll set it up for you. Wu Lingyu said. You know how to set up arrays? Sima Yue was a little surprised. This guy knew how to refine pills, refine weapons, tame beasts, and now he knew how to set up arrays? This was an all-rounder from many years ago. Chapter 966. Is there anything you don't know? Sima Yue could not help but ask as she watched Wu Lingyu skillfully setting up the array formation. After living for a long time, I naturally want to dabble in everything. Wu Lingyu set down an array stone and looked up at her. Don't you know everything too? Sima Yue pouted and said, you're so good at everything. There are also things I don't know, Wu Lingyu said. What? Seeker Spirit Master. All right. Sima Yue felt comforted. Wu Lingyu looked at the expression on her face and turned to smile. The two of them fiddled around in the mountain for half a day before they finally finished setting up the array. This array is directly connected to Heartbreak Valley. It will be convenient for them to travel back and forth in the future, Sima Yue said with a smile. Do you want to give it a try? Wu Lingyu extended her hand in invitation. Sure. The two of them stood in the array. Wu Lingyu injected spiritual power to activate the array, and soon returned to Heartbreak Valley. The array of Heartbreak Valley was halfway up the mountain. The light of the array attracted the attention of the people at the foot of the mountain. Seeing Sima Yue and Wu Lingyu come out, everyone knew that they had succeeded. Shimin-Chi and the others were at the foot of the mountain. Seeing them return, they flew up. Success. Shimin-Chi couldn't hide the excitement on his face. Okay. Sima Yue nodded. You can send someone over now. I'll go make the arrangements now. Shimin-Chi said as he prepared to make the arrangements. Uncle Chi, you have to find an experienced person to manage the mine. I know. Go and make the arrangements. I'll go find Feng. Shimin Feng was discussing something with Feng Kai and others. Seeing Sima Yue come in, he waved his hand at her. Sima Yue walked over and asked, what are you guys discussing? We're talking about taking over those shops. Shimin Feng said, is the array ready? Yes. Uncle Chi has already gone to arrange it. Sima Yue said, now that the array is settled, I should head back. You have to be careful outside. Shimin Feng looked at Wu Lingyu and said, you have to take care of my sister. Of course, Wu Lingyu said calmly. Oh right, there are a few thousand people who have been successfully detoxified. They even said that they would come out. Old Bai, those people are unruly. You have to restrain them. Sima Yue said, we are not strong enough now. It would be bad if we attract attention. I know. Bai Sheng said, whoever dares to disobey, I'll take care of him first. Sima Yue smiled and said, I'm leaving then. Big sister, is Li Er following you? Shimin Feng asked. Yes. Let her cultivate in the spirit pagoda. I will take good care of her. Sima Yue said. Shimin Feng nodded. It would be best if Li Er followed her. They came to an empty space. Sima Yue brought the people from the little realm out, then left Heartbreak Valley with Wu Lingyu. She had already done the initial things. The future development would depend on their management. Wu Lingyu left after sending her to Heavenly City. He had not completely settled his matters. This time he had rushed over because something happened to Sima Yue. You can head back first. Once I've settled my matters, I will be able to leave. Wu Lingyu said. Sima Yue nodded. He had always been busy. As the holy son of the Sage Pavilion, she was already very satisfied that he could appear by her side when she needed him. Will you be there during the pill competition? Yes. When the time comes, things will be more or less settled. I will be able to accompany you. Wu Lingyu said. Sima Yue heard him say that and smiled, saying, then you have to remember what you said. Definitely. Wu Lingyu hugged her and gave her a long goodbye kiss. Then he left reluctantly. Sima Yue watched as the space passage closed. Her heart was filled with longing and reluctance. You will not be lovesick in your life. That's why you will be lovesick. That's why you will be lovesick. She smiled after saying that. She didn't understand this in the past. Now she understood how the ancients felt. She came out of the house and used an array to protect the residents. Then she went to the Divine Devil Valley shop to find out more about the Divine Devil Valley. Then she returned to the academy. After a year, this place seemed to have not changed at all. Isn't that Sima Yue? She's finally back after so long. Where did she go? I heard that she took leave after the competition ended. It's been almost a year and she only showed up. I still remember how she looked during the competition. She was so handsome. Where's my male idol? Sima Yue heard this and felt a chill. She quickly ran back to Parting Garden to hide. Those who followed her saw her enter Parting Garden and left reluctantly. Phew, she patted her chest. These people were too scary. Han Miao Shuang heard the commotion and came out of the house. When she saw Sima Yue, she flew down and hugged her. She cried, little junior brother, you're finally back. I missed you so much. If you didn't come back, I would have gone to look for you. Sima Yue patted her back and said, did you miss me or did you want me to come back and cook for you? Both. Han Miao Shuang said honestly. I think you want me to cook for you more. Sima Yue pulled away the hand around her neck and asked, where's senior brother? I don't know. He should be cleaning the courtyard. They didn't see him in the front yard. They went to the backyard to take a look. There was still no one there. Where is he? Han Miao Shuang asked in surprise. Sima Yue shrugged. If you don't know, I don't know either. At this time there was a commotion outside. The two of them went to the front yard and saw Su Xiaoxiao walking in. Little junior brother is back? Su Xiaoxiao was surprised to see Sima Yue and said happily. Senior brother, where did you go? Instructor Mao asked me to go over and ask when you'll be back. He asked if he could contact you. We're just talking about you and you're already back. I still have to inform Director Mao, said Su Xiao. Isn't there still some time left? Why is he in such a hurry to find me? Sima Yue was surprised. He said he wanted to go over early. Su Xiaoxiao said, since you're back you should pack up. We'll be leaving soon. After he finished speaking he turned and left. Han Miao Shuang pouted and said, you haven't rested yet. Let's not care about that. Let's go and eat something good to celebrate your return. After she finished speaking she pulled her to the backyard. This guy, was he here to welcome her back or for her to satisfy his cravings? But no matter what, they hadn't seen each other for a long time. They should have a good gathering. Su Xiaoxiao came back very quickly. He told them that Mao Sanquan said that they would be leaving in 2 days. He asked them to rest well and prepare for it. Sima Yue was helpless. She just came back and had to start running again. Chapter 967. The next day Mao Sanquan called Sima Yue to his office. She knocked on the door and entered. When she saw Mao Sanquan she called out, Director Mao. Mao Sanquan was looking out of the window. When he heard Sima Yue's words he turned around and said, you're back. Is everything settled? Yes, Sima Yue replied. What can I do for you? Let me show you something. Mao Sanquan said, look at this. He took out a box from the drawer. Inside the box was a black medicinal herb. Dragonbeard grass? Why is it in this color? Sima Yue recognized the herb and asked in surprise when she saw the black color. Something else has happened in Cloud Sea City. This is a mutated grass that we found outside. Mao Sanquan explained. To make the dragon's beard turn into this color? What is it? Sima Yue picked it up and sniffed it lightly. A disgusting smell assaulted her nostrils. Right now we still don't know what caused it. Not only the plants, even the spirit beasts have become crazy. Mao Sanquan said. When the people from the ghost realm invaded last time, the spirit beasts also went crazy. Could it be that the ghost clan is behind this again? Sima Yue asked. We can't rule out this possibility but we can't be sure either. Mao Sanquan said, the ghost realm, the devil realm, and the human race's poison could all be the cause of this. Where is this from? Where is Cloud Ocean City? Sima Yue asked. You don't know Cloud Ocean City? No one told me. That's where the pill competition will be held. Mao Sanquan said, This place is known as the Holy Land of Alchemists, but not everyone is qualified to go there. How could something like this happen in this place? Or before the elixir competition? Sima Yue asked. We also feel that it's rather strange. But no one could find out the reason. Now is a crucial time. I believe that this kind of thing is definitely not a coincidence. Mao Sanquan said, so we have to go there in advance and see if we can help. Based on the way the academy does things, they wouldn't take the initiative to do these things, right? Sima Yue teased. The Dan Alliance requested it. It has already been delayed for a few days. If we delay any longer, we probably won't even have to wait for the competition. They will directly kick us out. Mao Sanquan said helplessly. Sima Yue looked at him and knew that he must have been delaying and delaying. Now he couldn't delay any longer. She suddenly thought of a question and asked, why are you telling me this? One is to let you all be mentally prepared. Mao Sanquan glanced at her. The second reason is because before your master left, he said that if there was anything special I could look for you. You're looking for me? Sima Yue widened her eyes. What was the point of looking for her when even the school could not solve the problem? I don't know why they said that either, but old Su and old Gu both said something similar, Mao Sanquan said. Take this thing back first. If you can think of a way, then do it. If you can't, then forget it. Let those old guys have a headache. Sima Yue took the box and walked out. When she came downstairs, she leaned against the wall alone and stared at the sky in a daze. Master, Teacher Gu, she took out Gu Lang's life token. It was still warm, which meant that he was fine. He was with Su Jin, which meant that Su Jin should be fine too, right? She sighed. Su Jin's life token was still in Jiang Junxian's hands, so she had no way of knowing his situation directly. Eldest senior brother, is Master doing well? She muttered a few words. Suddenly there was a fluctuation in the air. Sima Yue thought that someone would come out, but she didn't expect that it was just a space tunnel. Yue, are you willing to come over for a gathering? De Wei's voice came from inside. De Wei and the others were looking for her? Why didn't they come over directly, but instead used this method? She believed that they wouldn't hurt her. She gathered her emotions and entered the space tunnel. She came to the teleportation array that led outside the school. This time the two did not play chess in the pavilion. Instead, they sat upright and waited for her arrival. Greetings to the two teachers. Sima Yue bowed to the two of them. De Wei waved his hand and said, don't call us teachers, we're not teachers of the school. Then why are you guys in the school? Sima Yue was very surprised, but what she didn't understand was why they were telling her this. We made a bet with old Yuan and lost. We agreed to guard the school for a few decades. De Wei said. Sima Yue nodded in understanding. She was very confused before. De Wei and Xiao Wei clearly had high attainments in arrays, so why were they guarding the array here? Now she finally knew that it was because they lost a bet. Then why are you guys looking for me? De Wei and Xiao Wei looked at each other. In the end it was De Wei who asked, did you get an array book? Sima Yue's heart skipped a beat. She suddenly thought of the book that Wu Lingyu gave her. Did they know that she had the book? She thought about it a few times, but her expression did not change. She smiled and said, I have an array book. I learned a lot of arrays from the book. My array master rarely has time to teach me. What? De Wei shook his head when he heard Sima Yue laughing at them. You know that's not what we're talking about. Then what is it? Sima Yue asked. Do you have the origin of arrays? Xiao Wei asked directly. Origin of arrays? Sima Yue blinked and asked, what book is that? The Holy Book of Arrays. Xiao Wei said. Sima Yue wanted to deny it, but De Wei interrupted her and said, you don't have to deny it. You were able to set up the dragon trapping array in the dark forest, which means that the book is with you. The complete dragon trapping array has been lost. The only record is in the origin of arrays. Sima Yue saw that they were so certain and did not say anything else. However, she did not admit it directly and only replied, I did get a book on arrays, but I don't know if it's the one you're talking about. After all, the book is very old and it doesn't even have a name. Can we take a look at it? Xiao Wei's eyes lit up as he asked excitedly. No. Sima Yue refused. That book was given to me by my senior. I can't just show it to anyone. I think that the two teachers won't force me to do anything in the academy, right? Fan Lei and Mao Sanquan were still in the academy. They would definitely not let them bully her. Don't worry, we don't want to steal your book. De Wei saw that Sima Yue was suddenly very alert and explained. They had thought about it before, but after they understood her better, they gave up on the idea. Sima Yue did not reply. She did not intend to ask what they wanted to do. She just stared straight at them. Chapter 968. You don't have to be so nervous. Dewey said, we're not bad people. Sima Yue looked at Little Wei and said, it's hard to say. There is no absolute boundary between good and bad. Dewey sighed and said, do you know what kind of book The Origin of Arrays is? Sima Yue shrugged. Is there a need to guess from the name? Isn't it about formations? Do you know where it came from? Big Wei asked. I don't know. Even if he knew, he wouldn't say it. Then do you know about the 100 changing doors? I have. What about its history? Dewey asked again. I know a little. Sima Yue said, I only heard that they used to be a big force in the outer region. Later on, they moved to the middle region and not long after they went to the inner region. It's gone? That's all. Our sect has always kept a low profile, so the world doesn't know much about us. Big Wei said. You guys are from the 100 changing doors. Sima Yue squinted her eyes. She did not expect them to be so mysterious. Yes. Dewey admitted, the 100 changing doors is the originator of array sects, and the origin of array formations is a book passed down by the founder of the sect. There are many lost formations recorded in it. Sima Yue believed him because Feng Zhixing had said something similar before. But that has nothing to do with me, she said with a shrug. No, you're wrong. Big Wei shook his head. If the origin of array formations is in your hands, then you're definitely related to us. What? Since you've received the legacy of our founder, you're naturally one of us. Unless you're willing to return the book to us, Xiao Wei said directly. Thinking about how Wu Lingyu had been trapped in the array formation for more than a year in order to find this book for her, she could not give this book to anyone else. The book in my hand was given to me by someone. I can't just give it away. Big Wei and Little Wei were not surprised by her answer. Then you can only follow us back to the sect. Little Wei said. I have my own life and things to do. I can't go back with you. Sima Yue rejected directly. When Xiao Wei heard this, he immediately bristled. That's not up to you. Really? Sima Yue looked at the sky and said, if I don't go, are you going to take me away by force? We know that you are very powerful and we don't want to be your enemy, so you don't have to be so hostile towards us. Big Wei said. It's not that I want to be your enemy, but that teacher Xiao Wei has such thoughts, right? Sima Yue said, you can't hide the greed in your eyes. Big Wei glared at Little Wei and explained to Sima Yue with a smile, you misunderstood. That's not what he meant. He's just a little excited to know that you have the origin of arrays. That's because I'm in school, right? Sima Yue retorted. If we were outside, I think you would have already attacked me. How could that be? Big Wei said, you have received the inheritance of our ancestors and your status is much higher than ours. We can't be disrespectful to you and we definitely won't attack you. Sima Yue laughed coldly, not believing their words. If there's nothing else, I'll take my leave. After saying this, she turned to leave. You can't leave. Xiao Wei shouted anxiously. When he saw that Sima Yue was determined to leave, he waved his hand and a ray of array light trapped her in place. Is this what you meant when you said that you won't attack me? Sima Yue turned around and scolded the two of them. Xiao Wei, what are you doing? Big Wei didn't expect Xiao Wei to attack Sima Yue and scolded. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Xiao Wei stood up from his seat and said to Sima Yue, we wanted to give you a few years to think about it, but we have to leave now. We can't delay any longer. You can either come with us today or hand over the book. Sima Yue looked at him and sneered, I can't give you the book. I can't go with you either. That's not up to you. Is that so? Director Mao Dean Fan, after listening for so long, you won't just watch me get taken away, right? Sima Yue looked at the sky. The space tunnel opened and Fan Lei and Mao Sanquan walked out. Big Wei's pupils shrank. They didn't realize that Mao Sanquan and Fan Lei were there all along. What was even more surprising was that they had been monitoring Sima Yue's movements today, and were sure that when she came over, Mao Sanquan and the rest didn't follow. Sima Yue couldn't have known beforehand. In other words, he and Xiao Wei didn't notice the situation in the sky, but Sima Yue did. She was even more sensitive to space than they were. Just how terrifying was his perception. Big Wei, Xiao Wei, old Yuan has already asked you to leave, you can leave now. Mao Sanquan said. I was wondering why you were waiting here, so you were waiting for Yue. Fan Lei said, we already said that you can't force her. Why, are you going back on your words now? Sima Yue listened to Fan Lei's words. It seemed like they already knew that Big Wei and the rest were plotting something against her, but didn't tell her. Moreover, Big Wei and the rest should have left long ago. The only reason why they didn't leave was because she had applied for leave, and they didn't know where she was, so they could only wait here. We aren't going back on our words, we are just communicating with her. Big Wei said. Then what do you mean by this? Mao Sanquan looked at the array that trapped Yue with dissatisfaction. Big Wei glanced at Xiao Wei, and Xiao Wei unwillingly kept the array. With Mao Sanquan and Fan Lei here, it was impossible for them to take Sima Yue away today. Yue, even if you don't come with us today, there will be people looking for you in the future. I hope that you can think carefully during this period of time, and make the right choice when the time comes. Big Wei said, if you join my 100 changing doors, we will definitely not let you disgrace your talent. Sima Yu's impression of Big Wei wasn't bad. Hearing what he said, she nodded, saying, I will consider it. Big Wei took out a temporary array, opened it, and left with Xiao Wei. After they left, Sima Yue bowed to Mao Sanquan and Fan Lei, saying, many thanks to Principal Fan and Instructor Mao for saving me. This 100 changing doors has not been peaceful recently, and seems to be splitting into two. They want to pull you back as a bargaining chip. Mao Sanquan said. No wonder they said they would go back early. Big Wei and Xiao Wei have been in the school for so many years, and have some feelings for each other, so they are easy to talk to. If other people came, it wouldn't be so easy to deal with them. Fan Lei said, it's best that you don't act alone in the future, or else you might be in danger. Sima Yue nodded. If these people couldn't bring her back, then they would have their eyes on the books. If she wasn't careful, she would be in danger again. Chapter 969. What? Those two fellows dared to have designs on you? They even wanted to force you? Why didn't you call me? I'll beat them up so that their parents won't be able to recognize them. Let's see how they'll force you. Little Seven's voice came from the courtyard, her little face was filled with anger. Don't be agitated. Sima Yue pulled her up from the chair, regretting telling them. When she came back, Little Seven and the others asked her why she was gone for so long. She told them about Big Wei and Little Wei asking her to go. She didn't expect Little Seven to explode. Those two fellows usually look shifty. They're really not good people. Little Seven said, Yu, I'll go wherever you go next time. If I was there today, let's see if those two fellows dared to lay their hands on you. Okay, I'll bring you along next time. Don't be so agitated now, eat a spirit fruit to calm down. Sima Yue put a spirit fruit in her mouth, successfully stopping her. I think Principal Fan and the others are right. You better not act alone in the future. Su Xiao frowned and said, although not many people know about the 100 changing doors, everyone knows that they're very powerful. If they have designs on you, I'm afraid they won't give up on you. I know that too. Sima Yue said helplessly, but that book was given to me by senior brother. In order to find this book for me, he was trapped for more than a year and almost lost his life. How can I hand it over just because it's dangerous? Then what about joining them? Han Miao Shuang said, you said it yourself, they want you to go back with them. Yes, go back. If I go back, I might not be able to come out. Sima Yue said, not many people know about the 100 changing doors. Part of the reason is that their disciples don't move around the continent. But I have my own things to do. I can't go back with them. That's true. Han Miao Shuang said, then we can only counter soldiers with arms and water with an earth weir. Speaking of which, how's the establishment of your force? I didn't hear you talk about it. You said that we'll join too. It's built. Everything is on the right track. Sima Yue said. Let me tell you guys, we did something big again. Little Seven said proudly. Sima Yue's mouth twitched. What did he mean by, did something big? They didn't do anything like murder or robbery. Why didn't you bring us along? Han Miao Shuang stared at them. Do you know what the biggest thing is recently? Little Seven asked mysteriously. The biggest thing? Han Miao Shuang narrowed her eyes and thought for a while, then she grabbed Little Seven's shoulders with both hands and said, damn it, the incident in Blood Fiend City wasn't caused by you guys, right? Hearing this, Su Xiao also looked over in surprise. Don't be so agitated. That's not entirely because of us. Little Seven was frightened by Han Miao Shuang's expression and said, it's not entirely because of you guys. Does that mean that you guys did it? Han Miao Shuang said excitedly. Right, we did it when we went to recruit people. Little Seven said. Tell me, what did you guys do? Little Seven then told them everything that happened in Blood Fiend City, which made Su Xiao and Han Miao Shuang stunned. Damn it, I already said that there would be something fun to follow you guys. You guys actually didn't bring us along for such a big thing. Han Miao Shuang cried out. Hee, you guys know about it now. Little Seven patted her shoulders and said, don't be so agitated. I'll bring you guys along next time. But we didn't have any experience in the past. Han Miao Shuang said gloomily. The past is the past. There's no use thinking about it. It's better to look forward to the future. Little Seven patted her shoulders and said earnestly. Han Miao Shuang was speechless. This guy was really asking for a beating. If you want to experience things, you should be more interested in what happened next. Sima Yue saw her helpless expression and said with a smile. What happened next? What happened? Did Instructor Mao tell you something? Su Xiaoxiao sensed something. Yes. Sima Yue said, take a look at this. She took out the dragon beard grass and passed it to Su Xiaoxiao. How did the dragon beard grass become like this? And it's so smelly. Han Miao Shuang covered her nose and waved her hand. She looked at the dragon beard grass in disgust. This was given to me by Instructor Mao. Sima Yu said, you can even tell what's going on? Han Miao Shuang and Su Xiaoxiao looked at it carefully and shook their heads, saying, I haven't seen it before. I have to study it carefully. Where did this come from? Instructor Mao said that this is a medicinal herb near Cloud Sea City. Sima Yue said, not only the medicinal herb but also the spirit beasts. Cloud Sea City? Is it for the alchemy competition? Su Xiaoxiao guessed. I don't know. It said that the Alchemist Guild and Pill Subdivision are helpless. They're gathering all the major forces to discuss countermeasures. It's because of this that we have to go in advance. If it's really found near Cloud Sea City, then it's very likely that it's for the alchemy competition. Han Miao Shuang said. Little junior brother, didn't you find anything? Su Xiaoxiao asked. Sima Yue shrugged, saying, I can't. People from the devil realm and ghost realm can cause such a situation. So can poison. Su Xiaoxiao pinched off a jade leaf and found that it was black inside, saying, seems like it's not just the surface. Even the inside is black. This means that it's infected. Then let's study what this is. Han Miao Shuang said, little junior brother, do you want to come along? I won't be going. I'll leave early tomorrow morning. I have something to settle. Sima Yue declined. Alright then. Xiao, let's go study it. Han Miao Shuang said as she went to the alchemy room with Su Xiaoxiao. Where are we going? Little Seven asked. Spirit Pagoda. Little Spirit saw the thing in Sima Yue's hand and was stunned. After a while he found his voice. Master, is this really divine scar? Yes. Sima Yue said, senior brother gave it to me before. I was so busy that I forgot about it. Now let's plant it. As she spoke, she wanted to break open the red gem. Don't. Little Spirit shouted. What don't you want? Sima Yue looked at him strangely. Don't touch it. Leave this thing to me. Don't touch it. Little Spirit shouted and ran over to snatch the gem. He looked at Sima Yue vigilantly, afraid that she would snatch it away. Why are you overreacting? Sima Yue looked at him in confusion. Little Spirit carefully protected the divine scar seed and waved at her, saying, leave this thing to me. You're so rough you'll break it. Don't bother about it in the future. Chapter 970. Sima Yue was speechless. What was this guy's reaction? In any case, she was someone who loved medicinal herbs. How could he say that she was rude? But seeing how nervous he was, she couldn't take it back by force. Do you know how to grow this? I'm sure I know more than you. Little Spirit said, you don't have to worry about this, just leave it to me. Do you know what this thing is for? I know. It's for your aunt. Little Spirit said, don't worry, leave it to me. I won't joke about your matters. Sima Yue saw that he was not joking, so she nodded and said, then I'll leave it to you. You have to plant it well. I know. After Little Spirit finished speaking, he took the ring and left. Hey, my ring. Sima Yue finally remembered that Little Spirit had taken her ring as well. I'll return this thing to you later. Little Spirit's voice resounded, not even showing his face. Sima Yue thought that it was still early to leave, so she went to the alchemy room to refine pills for 2 days. In the past 2 years she had been very busy. Apart from those medicinal pills that she needed, she basically did not have much time to practice other things. She also did not make much progress towards level 8. Fortunately, she had a strong foundation and hadn't lagged behind in the past 2 years. The next morning when she came out of the Spirit Pagoda, Su Xiaoxiao and the others also came out of the alchemy room. Senior brother, senior sister, how is your research going? I don't have a clue. Han Miao Shuang said, I can't figure out what it is. Even the people from the Alchemist Guild and the Dan Alliance can't figure it out. It's normal for you guys to not have any results in just one night. Don't be discouraged. Sima Yue comforted. Did you know that there wouldn't be any results so you didn't go? Han Miao Shuang thought of something and asked. Sima Yue smiled but did not say anything. Wow, you knew there wouldn't be any results, why didn't you remind us? Han Miao Shuang glared at her unhappily. Both of you were in the mood at that time. Even if I told you, you wouldn't have listened to me. Sima Yue said, why should I waste my breath? How are you doing? Su Xiaoxiao handed her the box with the dragon's beard grass and asked. It's just a small matter. I've already settled it. Sima Yue said, let's pack up and go look for Director Mao. Yes. Before leaving the courtyard, Sima Yue set up a barrier to protect the courtyard. No outsiders would invade this place, but the barrier could prevent the dust from wreaking havoc. They arrived at Mao Sanquan's office. Other than Mao Sanquan and Fan Lei, there were also a few other teachers and students. After waiting for them to enter, Mao Sanquan said, now that everyone is here, let's get moving. Old Fan, I'll leave the matters of the academy to you. Fan Lei nodded. Mao Sanquan opened a spatial tunnel and let the students enter first. Sima Yue and the rest were late, so they could only follow behind. Fan Lei walked over to them and instructed, all of you should be mentally prepared for what's going to happen in the city. Don't even think about charging forward if you encounter any danger. Just follow behind us. Those old fellows will take care of things over there. Little Seven, you have to be careful too. Don't let anyone discover your identity. Yes, Dean Fan. Will remember. Sima Yue listened to his advice. If anything happened, they would definitely not charge forward. Go. After everyone had left, Mao Sanquan urged Sima Yue and the rest to enter the spatial tunnel. Take good care of these students. They are all elites in alchemy. Fan Lei said to Mao Sanquan. I know. Mao Sanquan responded, then turned around and entered the spatial tunnel. After he entered, the tunnel slowly closed up. Fan Lei was a little worried that something would happen to Mao Sanquan, but the academy still needed him to take care of things. Yuan Xiaojie and the rest had not returned, so he could only take care of them. Old Mao, you have to control your temper. He sighed, closed the door and left. When Sima Yue and the rest came out of the space, they were in an ice field. This is Cloud Sea City? Someone asked. No. A teacher shook his head and said, this is the ice field south of Cloud Sea City. Where is this Cloud Sea City? It feels like we've been in the void for a long time. Yeah, Cloud Sea City is not marked on the map. I don't even know where it is. Why do you know so much? A teacher reprimanded, you'll know when it's time. The two students who spoke were reprimanded and lowered their heads in embarrassment. Sima Yue thought for a while. According to the time they spent in the void, this place was at least 1 billion kilometers away from the academy. She did not know where it was. Dean Mao, is this where the incident happened? A teacher asked. No. Cloud Sea City. We'll go to Cloud Sea City first. Mao Sanquan called out a flying beast and got everyone on it. The students who followed them did not know what happened, but when they saw the serious expression on the teachers' faces, they could not help but ask, Teacher Wei, what did you say just now? Is it related to us coming here early? That Teacher Wei was called Wei Zheng. He was one of the more reputable alchemist teachers. His status and strength were slightly inferior to Su Jin. He glanced at Mao Sanquan, and when he noticed that Mao Sanquan didn't give him any meaningful glances, he said to the students, something has happened in Ocean of Cloud City. The plants that grow in the surroundings have been corrupted, and the spirit beasts have become rather violent. We don't know if it's because of the alchemy competition, but the Pill subdivision asked us to come here early to solve this problem. Everyone listened quietly to Wei Zheng's story and fell into deep thought. Something that even the Pill subdivision couldn't figure out? Would it be useful to ask them to go? Dean Mao, this feels a little strange. A student said, even the Alchemist Guild and the Pill subdivision couldn't solve it. Why did they ask us to come? It's very strange. But we don't know the exact situation until we get there. Mao Sanquan said. Then is it possible that someone pretended to be from the Pill subdivision to pass the message? Han Miao Shuang asked. I know the person who came to pass the message. He's from the Pill subdivision. Mao Sanquan said, he directly listens to the vice leader's orders. He won't be bribed by others. He won't be bribed. Maybe the vice leader was bribed. Little Seven suddenly blurted out. Seeing that everyone was looking at her, she chuckled and said, I'm just saying it casually. No matter what the situation is, we'll know once we go and take a look. Wei Zheng said. How long until we reach Cloud Sea City? We'll be there after passing through this ice field. 3 days later, they finally flew out of the ice field and saw a city above the clouds. Chapter 971. Read 336. A city above the clouds. The students were all astonished. That's not a city above the clouds. Little Seven said, it's clearly a city on a mountain. How is it above the clouds? On the mountain? Can a city be built on a mountain? That's a city, not a house, and not a small courtyard of a sect. Someone refuted. Believe it or not. Little Seven didn't want to argue with them. In her eyes, these people were all ants. There was no need to bother with them. Those people didn't dare to say anything when they saw Little Seven's attitude. After all, they had seen the billboard competition. With her combat strength, no one wanted to provoke her. If he was sent flying by her punch, he would be asking for trouble. Ocean of Cloud City really is a mountain. Wei Jing said, actually it can't be called a mountain. It's a plateau. Because of the high altitude, clouds have accumulated around it, so it looks like it's built on the clouds. That's why it's called Cloud Sea City. I see. This place doesn't belong to the middle region, right? Sima Yue said. If it was someone else who said this, Mao Sanquan would definitely roll his eyes. But seeing that it was her, he just faintly replied, N. But it shouldn't be the inner region. Little Seven said. Have you been to the inner region? Sima Yue asked her with a smile. I might have been there before, but I don't remember. Little Seven said. The other students couldn't help but glance at Little Seven. They were very curious about her identity. They were all guessing in their hearts that she should be a mythical beast with a high bloodline. It's neither the inner area nor the outer area. Looks like this city is a rather independent place. Sima Yue guessed, I wonder what kind of experts we'll encounter here. I heard that many people from the inner regions will participate. Han Miao Shuang said, who knows, you might meet some unexpected people. Someone who surprised me? Sima Yue was stunned. She didn't know who it was that could surprise her. I'm just guessing. Han Miao Shuang said, I heard that the geniuses from the inner regions are all coming. Geniuses against geniuses, I wonder how it will feel. Look at your senior brother yourself. Him? Let's see how he feels. I'm still looking forward to seeing you clash with those geniuses. Han Miao Shuang said. Perhaps those geniuses would come as well. If they saw Sima Yue, who knew what would happen. I think we should think about what happened before the competition, Su Xiao said. Director Fan is right. No matter what happens, the higher-ups will take care of it. We don't need to worry. Sima Yue said, we just need to protect ourselves. Exactly. Han Miao Shuang said, it's not like you don't know what kind of people from the Pill subdivision are. We don't need to care about that. We're almost at the city gate. Stop talking, Wei Jing reminded. Sima Yue looked at Wei Jing's cautious manner. It seemed that the Academy's position in the Alchemy Guild was not very high. It made sense. The Alchemy Guild and the Alchemist Guild valued the results of alchemy. Although the Imperial Institute had a high status on the mainland, it did not mean that they had a high status here. Flying over the clouds, they came to the city wall. The guards on the city wall saw them and said coldly, Invitation. Mao Sanquan took out an invitation and opened it. A red light shone from it and formed the shape of a pill furnace in the air. The invitation is real. Open the city gate. As soon as the guard said that, the city gate below opened. Mao Sanquan put away the invitation and let everyone in. After entering the city gate, Sima Yue asked Han Miao Shuang softly, Senior sister, why do we need an invitation to come here? Because this competition is more important. Not everyone can come just because they want to. You must have an invitation from the Alchemist Guild to come in. Han Miao Shuang explained. There's such a thing. A student at the side heard and exclaimed in surprise. They have to verify it like this every time? They didn't in the past. Maybe something happened. Han Miao Shuang said. Soon they knew the reason for this. When they arrived at the inn to stay, they heard the people in the hall discussing what happened in Cloud Sea City recently. Do you guys think that the person who stole the top-grade Bodhi mushroom from the Alchemist Guild is still in the city? I don't think so. If I had that treasure, I would have escaped long ago. But didn't they seal the city gate the moment they realized that the Bodhi mushroom was missing? Besides the people who went out to settle the matter, no one else went out of the city. Since that person could use a fake invitation to come in, he might be able to blend in with the crowd and leave. No, the number of people who went out and came back these 2 days was the same. You even know this. Of course. Did you forget that my brother is a city guard? He was on duty these few days. He told me when he came back. That means that person is still in Cloud Sea City. If we can catch him, we can go to the Alchemist Guild to get the reward. I wonder who is so daring. You guys are stupid. If I find out who stole it, I will kill him and snatch the Bodhi mushroom. Hehe, if you dare to snatch it, the Alchemist Guild will chop you into pieces. I will snatch it secretly. The guild won't know. You don't understand. The Bodhi mushroom's aura is not easy to hide. It needs a special method to completely isolate it. Otherwise, even if it is placed in the interspatial ring, the smell will still spread out. At that time you won't be able to hide it. Sima Yoyue's expression changed when she heard about the Bodhi mushroom. This was a good thing. It could be said to be a treasure in the medicine industry. It was said that it could bring people back to life. It was even more powerful than the golden snake fruit. If she could get it, hehe, the Alchemist Guild must be having a headache right now. The matter in the south hasn't been settled and now this happened. I wonder if this year's alchemy competition will be postponed. Let's wait and see. Mao San Quan and the rest finished the check-in procedures and came to them. You guys go back to your rooms and rest. We will go out for a while. Sima Yuyue and the rest took the keys and followed the waiter upstairs. Mao San Quan and Wei Jing went out. Bodhi mushroom, I wonder who is so capable to be able to get this from the Alchemist Guild. If it is given to me, I will eat it. No one will be able to find it. Little Seven giggled. Sima Yue smiled. Little Seven liked to eat all kinds of elixirs. This was something she knew from the first time she met her. After evolving, she ate less. Thinking about it, it was probably because she didn't evolve at that time, so she needed to absorb energy from the elixirs. Sima Yue chose the room at the side. Little Seven originally arranged for Han Miao Shuang to stay in the room. In the end, she insisted on staying with Sima Yue, so everyone let her be. Sima Yue opened the door and went in. She immediately felt something was wrong and shouted coldly. Who is it? Chapter 972. The black figure hiding in the house heard Sima Yue's voice and walked out of the house. Sima Yue was shocked when she saw who it was. Shameless Third, why are you here? Something happened. Third Mo clutched his chest as blood seeped out from between his fingers. Are you hurt? Sima Yue went over to support him. Why are you bleeding so much? Bang bang bang, before Third Mo could say anything, there was a knock on the door. Little junior brother, did something happen? Han Miao Shuang asked at the door. No, what's wrong? Sima Yue denied when she saw Third Mo shaking his head. Little Xiao seemed to have heard your voice just now, I thought something happened to you. Han Miao Shuang said, since you're fine then we'll head back. When Sima Yue heard them leave, she heaved a sigh of relief. She turned to look at Third Mo and asked, what exactly happened? Why are you here? And why are you injured so badly? This is not the place to talk. Third Mo hinted. Sima Yue set up an enchantment in the room before bringing him and Little Seven into the Spirit Pagoda. After arriving at the Spirit Pagoda, Third Mo finally relaxed and knelt down on one knee. Sima Yue and Little Seven hurriedly supported him. Seeing that his wound was still bleeding, they grabbed his hand and started to take his pulse. You're poisoned? The results of the examination surprised her. She quickly took out a detoxification pill and fed it to him. Then she gave him a healing pill. Third Mo ate her pill and said with a smile, only your pills taste as good as sugar pills. You're still in the mood to joke at a time like this. Sima Yue's face darkened. What's wrong with you? Don't laugh at me or I'll get angry. Third Mo was helped to a chair and sat down. He said, as you can see, I was injured. With your abilities, how could you be so severely injured? He even poisoned you to prevent you from healing. Don't tell me that you just got into a fight because you don't like him. Sima Yue glared at him. Normal people don't have this kind of poison. This is poison from the Alchemist Guild. Third Mo said. As expected. She had guessed right from the start that the Alchemist Guild would have that kind of poison, and she had guessed correctly. What the hell is going on? Ah! Xiao Qi suddenly cried out. You're not the one who stole the Bodhi Ganoderma, are you? Third Mo nodded. You went to steal the Bodhi mushroom? Sima Yue exclaimed in surprise. What about that thing? Little Seven's eyes lit up as she looked at him. I didn't bring it out. Third Mo said. What do you mean? Little Seven asked. The item is still in the Alchemist Guild. It's just that I hid it. Third Mo laughed. Those fellows thought that I brought it out and are searching the entire city for it. You're still laughing at this time. If you didn't meet me, you would have died from the blood loss. Sima Yue stretched out her hand and poked his head, expressing her unhappiness. Didn't I meet you? Third Mo didn't feel the slightest bit of nervousness from a brush with death. How did you know that we would be here? Xiao Qi asked. Third Mo shook his head helplessly. I don't know. You don't know? Then how did you? Is it such a coincidence? Third Mo said. It is indeed quite a coincidence. I was being chased and had just escaped here. I didn't expect to meet you guys. I was also very surprised at that time. Sima Yue heard him say this and her gaze darkened. She said, we'll talk about the details later, I need to go out for a while. Go out for what? Shaoqi asked. Those people lost him here, so they'll definitely send someone to investigate. There's still the smell of blood in the house, I need to go out and deal with it. Sima Yue said. It's too late, someone came to the inn to search. Little Spirit's voice sounded. The faces of the three people in the Spirit Pagoda sank. A group of guards wearing the Alchemist Guild's uniform came in from outside, shocking the people in the lobby into silence. They curiously watched them pass through the crowd. Where's the shopkeeper? The guard commander shouted. Here. A fat man ran out from behind and bowed while saying, Great Commander Luo, how come you have time to come to this small shop today? Luo Ming glanced at him and said, Did you see any injured people coming here? Injured people? The shopkeeper thought for a while and said, I didn't see any injured people coming in. Waiter, did you see them? No, only the people from the Heavenly Sect came in today. No one else came. The waiter said. The people from the Heavenly Sect came? Luo Ming narrowed his eyes and said, We are capturing the person who stole the Bodhi mushroom. He escaped to this area and disappeared without a trace. Now we have to search the rooms, especially the rooms of the Heavenly Sect. We have to search carefully to prevent them from colluding with that person. Do you understand? Yes, Commander. Go search. Luo Ming waved his hand and the other guards all ran to the rooms upstairs. Boom! Those guards had just reached the second floor when they heard an explosion coming from the room at the side. The door was broken by the aftermath of the explosion. Cough, 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 cough. A coughing sound came from the room. The people from the next room rushed out and rushed to that room. Junior brother, what happened to you? Han Miao Shuang looked at the white smoke in the room and asked in surprise. Why did it explode? Are you all okay? Cough, cough. Sima Yue waved her hand and wanted to wash away the smoke in the room, but it was still choking. Su Xiao went to open the window and the smoke in the room dissipated a little. You're injured. Han Miao Shuang saw that Sima Yue's arm was dark red and cried out. I'm fine. Sima Yue took out a pill and ate it. The wound quickly stopped bleeding. What happened? Luo Ming walked in with two guards. He subconsciously frowned when he smelled the blood in the room. The shopkeeper also came in and saw the messy room from the explosion and said, What are you all doing? How did the room get blown to this extent? Sima Yue shifted her gaze to Little Seven and said, Come here. Little Seven lowered her head and walked over shyly saying, Yu, I was wrong. How many times have I told you you can't touch my things? Are you happy now? Hiss. Sima Yue was agitated and pulled on her wound. It hurt so much that she gasped. It's a good thing you dodged quickly. Otherwise you would have been blown away. Everyone saw the wreckage of the table and the broken glass jar on the floor and understood what happened in the room. Are you all from the Heavenly Sect? Luo Ming looked at everyone and asked coldly. Chapter 973. Sima Yue could tell from Luo Ming's tone that he wasn't a friendly person and seemed to have some enmity towards the Sky Heaven School. Yes, we are all from the Heavenly Sect, a student replied. Luo Ming glanced at the room, then went to Sima Yue and said, Of all times to get injured, it's really strange that you got injured at this time. Sima Yue blinked and looked at him in confusion. What do you mean? What's wrong with my injury? It's not a big deal that you're injured, but it's a big deal that you're injured in this place at this time. Luo Ming said meaningfully. Luo Ming, what do you mean? Han Miao Shuang glared at Luo Ming, dissatisfied with his eccentric manner. Miss Han, we meet again. Luo Ming seemed to have just noticed Han Miao Shuang. No, you're no longer the young miss of the Han family, right, Han Miao Shuang? Even if I'm not the Han family's young miss, I'm not someone a small commander like you can call by my name. Han Miao Shuang said, I've never let a beast call my name. You're still so sharp-tongued. Luo Ming looked at Han Miao Shuang and saw that she was protecting Sima Yue. He said, We suspect that the people from your sect are in cahoots with the person who stole the Bodhi mushroom. Come back with us. What collusion? Han Miao Shuang said, Luo Ming, your ability to slander others is still so powerful. The person who stole the Bodhi Ganoderma is here? Sima Yue looked around the room and shook her head. Commander Luo, are you saying that I'm in cahoots with the person who stole the Bodhi mushroom? That's right. Luo Ming said, Now, come back with me and cooperate with our investigation. Although I don't want to say that Commander Luo is slandering me, this is the truth. Sima Yue said, I don't have the person you're talking about, how could I collude with him? Moreover, we just arrived at the city today and just stayed in the inn. We just heard about the Bodhi mushroom being stolen in the main hall, so how could we possibly collude with that fellow? If I say so, then so be it. Luo Ming said impatiently. What right do you have to suspect me? Sima Yue said angrily, in any case, I am also a pill master who came out to participate in the pill competition. You can't treat me unjustly like this. What? Based on the fact that the person disappeared around here, based on the smell of blood in your house. This is enough to prove that you are colluding with him. Luo Ming sneered. With just these? Sima Yue sneered. If you want to accuse me of colluding with that person, then please show me the evidence. You won't be able to move me with just the smell of blood. Didn't you say he was in my room? I'll have to trouble you to find him. Knowing that we're here, would he still be foolishly waiting here? Luo Ming said, I'm afraid he's already escaped. Isn't the inn surrounded by your men? Go ask around and see if anyone has left my room. If not, I think you won't be able to bear the consequences of wrongly accusing a participant of the pill competition. Sima Yue said. Luo Ming, I know you don't get along well with our sect, but even if you want to wrongly accuse us, please find a better excuse. I don't believe that the guild will side with you for such an obvious thing. Don't go for wool and come home shorn. Our sect is not a soft persimmon that anyone can bully. Han Miao Shuang said. Without direct evidence, without seeing that person in the house with his own eyes, plus the fact that they had just arrived in Cloud Sea City, it was impossible to say that they were colluding. Even if he captured them now and tortured them, it would only give them a reason to bite back at him. Although Luo Ming hated the people from the sect, he wouldn't be so stupid to throw himself in. After thinking about it, he waved to the guards who followed him and said, We'll search somewhere else. After speaking, he led his men out. Take care, Commander Luo. The shopkeeper bowed to Luo Ming's back. After they left, he turned around and looked at the mess in the house and said helplessly, We just moved in, how did we? Shopkeeper, these are compensation for you. Also, change your room for my junior brother. Han Miao Shuang took out a pile of crystal stones and stuffed it into the shopkeeper's arms. When the shopkeeper saw so many crystal stones, his wrinkled face immediately relaxed and said with a smile, Okay, I'll change a room for you. After speaking, he took the crystal stones and left. After Sima Yue changed to a new room, the other students went back to their own rooms, leaving only Han Miao Shuang, Su Xiao and Little Seven who was the scapegoat. Han Miao Shuang closed the door and set up a spirit barrier. She came to Sima Yue and asked, Junior brother, what happened just now? Don't say that it exploded by accident, this excuse is enough to deceive others. Sima Yue knew that she couldn't hide it from them, it was already good enough that they were willing to lie for her. I didn't plan to hide it from you. She said, the person who stole the Bodhi mushroom was in my room just now. What? Luo Ming is telling the truth. You stole the Bodhi mushroom with someone else? Han Miao Shuang's eyes widened. I just came here, how could I be in cahoots with someone else? Sima Yue said, but the person who stole the Bodhi mushroom is my friend, a very good friend. Then where is he now? Su Xiao asked. Sima Yue thought for a while and brought them into the spirit pagoda. Han Miao Shuang and Su Xiao knew that she had a little realm, but they didn't know that she had such a place. Rascal Third was poisoned, I just gave him an antidote and healing pill. Just now Little Spirit told me that the poison hasn't completely cured. Sima Yue said to the two people who were looking around curiously, You guys know a little about the Alchemist Guild, can you see what kind of poison he was poisoned with? Little junior brother, you actually have such a precious place, it's even better than the little realm. Han Miao Shuang said. I'll tell you later, help me take a look at my friend's situation. Sima Yue said. She went out for a while, Third Mo had already stayed inside for more than a day. Logically, his injuries should have completely healed, but Little Spirit told her that Third Mo's situation was very dangerous, so she wanted to ask them to help take a look. Little Seven went to play with Little Roar and the others, she brought Han Miao Shuang and Su Xiao to a courtyard, Third Mo was arranged to stay here. When they came to his room, they pushed the door open and saw an ashen-faced person lying unconscious on the bed. This situation is indeed more dangerous. Let's take a look first. Han Miao Shuang and Su Xiao checked Third Mo together, then saw the deep shock in each other's eyes. Chapter 974. Sima Yue's heart sank when she saw their expressions. What's wrong? What's with that expression? Is his condition serious? Su Xiao and Han Miao Shuang stood up and said, "Little junior brother, it's normal that you didn't notice his condition at the beginning because this is the most deceptive poison in the Alchemist Guild. Why spirit pill? Why spirit pill? On the surface, the effect of this pill is to prevent wounds from healing, but it is actually a kind of poison that devours spiritual energy." Su Xiao explained, "The general antidote seems to be detoxifying, but it's actually a poison that catalyzes the Y spirit pill. It will block people's meridians, block their blood, and devour their spiritual power." "I'll take a look at him." Sima Yue went to check on Third Mo and realized that it was just as they said. Third Mo's condition was very bad. "Little junior brother, you don't have to worry. Master once told us about this poison and how to make the antidote," Han Miao Shuang said. "Thank you, senior martial sister." Sima Yue looked at her expectantly. If she were to research the antidote, it wasn't that she couldn't figure it out, but it would take more time. With a ready-made antidote, it would be much easier to refine it. Han Miao Shuang nodded and took out the pill furnace and herbs to refine in the house. When she was refining pills, Sima Yue asked Su Xiao, "Senior brother, why does the Alchemist Guild have such an evil poison?" "Not all the people in the Alchemist Guild are upright, especially those who have power and are bad people. They were very strict and would often take special measures against those who disobeyed orders. Thus, these things came into being. However, very few people outside know about these things." Su Xiao explained. "Then how did you know?" "Master told us," Su Xiao said. "Master and the others don't like these people, so their relationship with them is very bad. So much so that they are now targeting us." "I see." Sima Yue touched her chin and said, "Oh right, that Luo Ming seems to be an old acquaintance of senior sister." Before she followed Master, she was bullied by Luo Ming in the Han family. Su Xiao was a little angry about Luo Ming. He's not a member of the Han clan, yet he dares to bully senior sister? The Luo clan and the Han clan are both alchemy clans. The two clans have a deep relationship and often interact with each other. This Luo Ming's alchemy was not very good, and his position in the Luo clan was also not very good, but because he followed their genius young master, he often went to the Han clan. Every time he went, he would bully senior sister. Later on, the Luo clan bribed someone and made him a small commander here. "Looks like this Luo Ming needs to be taught a lesson." Sima Yue said, "How dare you bully senior sister and frame me today? I will remember this." That time when they were eating barbecue at the back of the mountain, Han Miao Shuang said that she liked to eat it because she was scared of being hungry. What kind of environment would cause a person to still have a psychological image of why? Needless to say, the Han family treated Han Miao Shuang badly in the past, and even those outsiders often bullied her. Han Miao Shuang quickly refined the antidote and fed it to Third Mo. Color quickly returned to his face and he woke up in a short while. "Shameless Third, how do you feel?" Sima Yue sat by the bed and asked. Third Mo blinked and recalled that he fainted not long after Sima Yue went out. He felt weak all over and asked, "I was poisoned?" "Yes. Senior sister has already detoxified you." Sima Yue said, "You are weak all over now. You will be fine after resting for a while." Third Mo nodded slightly and replied, "Let me introduce you. This is Third Mo. This is my senior sister Han Miao Shuang and senior brother Su Xiao. Sima Yue introduced them to everyone. "Third Mo? Third Master?" Han Miao Shuang looked at Third Mo in surprise, then looked at Sima Yue. "It can't be that Third Master Mo, right?" Third Mo, that was a person who was often elusive and elusive. Even they knew his name. It was obvious that he was very famous. "It's that Third Master Mo," Sima Yue said with certainty. "It's really him?" Han Miao Shuang came over and said, "So that's how Third Master Mo looks like. I will remember it well." "Little junior brother, how did you get to know Third Master Mo?" Su Xiao also knew that Third Mo was mysterious. He rarely heard that he had any friends. "We got to know each other by chance." Sima Yue said, "At that time no discord, no concord. After that, we slowly got to know each other and became good friends. Although I really want to see him again, I am more curious about your place. Can we walk around?" Han Miao Shuang asked. Ever since they came in, they had been admiring the scenery here. "You guys go ahead." Sima Yue said, "I still have some things to tell Shameless Third. I will let Little Seven bring you guys." When Little Seven received Sima Yue's request, she was playing happily with Little Roar and the others. She threw Little Roar out and clapped her hands, saying, "Yu is looking for me. I'm going over." "I'll go with you. We haven't decided the winner yet." Little Roar stuck to her. Little Seven wasn't done playing and nodded, saying, All right then. She and Little Roar played the role of tour guides and brought Han Miao Shuang and Su Xiao Xiao to the spirit pagoda. Sima Yue then looked at Third Mo and said, "What did you steal the Bodhi mushroom for?" "To save someone." Third Mo answered honestly. "I heard Big Brother Qin say that you have been looking for something recently. The last time you went to the Nine-Star Ocean, you were also looking for something. Now you're here to steal this. Is it all for the same thing?" Third Mo thought for a while and nodded. "Who do you want to save that you actually need the Bodhi mushroom?" Sima Yue said, "Although this thing is precious, it is not suitable for all situations." "I know. But only by using it can I save her." Third Mo said. A girl?" "Yes." "Someone you like?" Sima Yue was interested. "No. It's just that she became like this because of me. So I have to save her." Third Mo said. Sima Yue didn't think so and teased, "It must be a girl who always pesters you. Then because you were injured and on the brink of death or even worse, you came to steal this regardless of the danger." Third Mo didn't deny it because what she said was the truth. "This Cloud Sea City's security is so tight, but you still dare to come here alone. I don't know what to say about you," Sima Yue said. Suddenly she thought of something and said, "The strange things that happened around Cloud Sea City were you doing?" "What strange things?" Third Mo didn't understand what she meant. Sima Yue told him the reason why they came early. Third Mo was stunned. Wasn't this too much of a coincidence? No wonder he felt that the Alchemist Guild's security wasn't good the last time he went in. So something happened outside and he took advantage of it. Chapter 975. Right, where's the Bodhi Ganoderma? "Show me what he looks like," Sima Yue said. "I don't have any Bodhi mushrooms right now." Third Mo said. "No? Didn't you steal it?" "I didn't bring it out. I left it in the herb garden." "Still in the courtyard of the Alchemist Guild?" Third Mo nodded and said, "You also know that the smell of the Bodhi mushroom can't be concealed. I came here on the spur of the moment and didn't make full preparations. Wouldn't bringing that thing out give people a chance to track me down? If we leave the Bodhi Ganoderma there, her previous smell will confuse those people and make them think that the smell is left behind in the past. They won't suspect that the Bodhi Ganoderma is still there. You were still found even without it." Sima Yue said, "What do you plan to do now?" "I don't know either." Third Mo said, "Let's plan properly after I've recovered. You were lucky to be able to barge in earlier. They were careless. Now that they have tightened their defenses, it won't be easy to get in again." Sima Yue said. "Those defenses are secondary. I heard in the past 2 days that they have set up a barrier outside the garden. Once there was a barrier, if outsiders wanted to invade, they would definitely be discovered. It was almost impossible to steal the item without anyone noticing." When Third Mo thought of this, his heart felt exceptionally heavy. The next time he wanted to go in and steal something, he would have to spend a lot of effort. Sima Yue's eyes lit up when she heard that there was a barrier. She asked, "Are there many treasures in the herb garden?" "There are indeed a lot of medicinal herbs, but you know me. I'm not familiar with this area." Third Mo saw her like this and knew that she was tempted. In the past, no one dared to steal things from the Alchemist Guild, so their defense in this area was not very strong. There must be a lot of treasures in the herb garden. Otherwise they wouldn't be so nervous as to set up a barrier. Sima Yue guessed excitedly. "Even if you know that there are treasures inside, it's useless. We've already set up a barrier. If you want to go in, it's practically impossible." Third Mo reminded, "Don't do anything stupid. Didn't you not take out your things? I'll think of a way myself, don't get involved." Third Mo said, "Going against the Alchemist Guild is something I can't do anything about. They are too powerful. If they find you, you won't be able to walk on the continent anymore." "Don't worry, I won't do anything stupid." Seeing how worried she was, Sima Yue said, "But the people from the Alchemist Guild have already offended me. If they can't give me a good explanation, then I can only use my own methods to seek justice. That Luo Ming is indeed very bad and the people of the Alchemist Guild are indeed very arrogant, but there are still a few good people. I understand. Stay here and recuperate for the next few days. Don't go out. I'll think of a way to get the Bodhi mushroom back for you. As for the rest, I'll talk about it later. I will think of a way to get the Bodhi mushroom. Do you have a way to open the barrier?" Sima Yue asked. "I'll think of a way. I can pass through the barrier without alerting anyone." Sima Yue said, "So leave this to me." "You can pass through the barrier?" Third Mo looked at her in shock. Sima Yue nodded, saying, "As long as it's a barrier, it's fine. So wait here, I'll bring it back for you. Tell me where you hid the Bodhi mushroom. Third Mo didn't object to her words. He had fought with the people from the Alchemist Guild before. Even if he didn't see his face clearly, he saw his figure. If he went out now, he would be easily recognized. But if he let Sima Yue do this, he was a little worried that he would implicate her. But Sima Yue didn't think so. Although Third Mo did things as he pleased, but in order to find those herbs, he had taken risks more than once. This showed that this was very important to him. As his friend, if she could help, she naturally wouldn't refuse. Recuperate here first. Although the poison of the Yin spirit pill has been removed, but it still caused damage to your body. We'll talk about the Bodhi mushroom after I understand the situation here. Okay. Sima Yue talked to Third Mo and asked him a few other things. After she understood his situation, she let him rest well and went to find Little Seven and the others. Han Miao Shuang and Su Xiao Xiao were walking around the spirit pagoda when they saw the things here. When Sima Yue came to find them, the two of them were still immersed in shock. Little junior brother, your place is simply too good. It's simply a sacred place for cultivation. And so many treasures, you're simply a rich woman. Han Miao Shuang hugged Sima Yue's shoulder. Rich woman? Su Xiao Xiao frowned and looked at Han Miao Shuang in confusion. Han Miao Shuang then realized that she had let it slip. She looked at Sima Yue. Seeing that she wasn't unhappy, she said, Little junior brother is actually little junior sister. Little junior sister? Su Xiao Xiao looked at Sima Yue in shock. He couldn't believe it. Little junior brother is a girl? It's the real deal. Sima Yue smiled. Really? Su Xiao Xiao looked at Sima Yue and then at Han Miao Shuang. He was obviously shocked by this. Sima Yue took off the illusion ring. The male aura disappeared and she returned to her female appearance. Little junior sister? Su Xiao Xiao looked at her and could only believe it. It was also the first time Han Miao Shuang saw Sima Yue like this. She didn't expect her aura to change completely. It's completely different from usual. This is too magical. It's all because of this. Sima Yue waved the illusion ring in her hand. Little spirit appeared without warning. He looked at them and said, Mao San Quan is back. Then let's go out first. Okay. She put on the illusion ring and brought them out of the spirit pagoda. Mao San Quan and the others came back. When they heard that something happened to Yue, they came to see her. Sima Yue heard knocking on the door when she came out. She removed the spirit barrier before opening the door. Instructor Mao, teach her way. You said you're injured? Mao San Quan asked. It's just a small injury. Sima Yue invited them into the house. Seeing that they didn't look good, she asked, What happened? Mao San Quan didn't expect Sima Yue to be so sharp. He was stunned and said angrily, The Alchemist Guild and the Pill Subdivision are too much. Sima Yue and Han Miao Shuang looked at each other. They had never seen him so angry. What did the Alchemist Guild do? Chapter 976. Read 336. Did you guys go to the Alchemist Guild just now? Han Miao Shuang asked. Pill Subdivision. But those people from the guild were there too. Wei Jing said. What did they do to make you so angry? Sima Yue asked. Those bastards told us to go out of the city tomorrow. Mao San Quan said, they didn't find out the reason, so they asked us to go. How despicable. Is it dangerous outside? None of the people who went out these 2 times came back. Don't you think it's dangerous? Mao San Quan snorted. But didn't they say that none of the people who went out this time came back? Su Xiao Xiao recalled what he heard when he first came and said in surprise. That's just to calm the hearts of the people in the city. Mao San Quan said, if they know that the situation has become so serious, I don't know what kind of chaos will occur. That's fake news. Han Miao Shuang and the others realized the seriousness of the situation. If it had reached this stage, it meant that the situation was very bad. And under this situation, they still asked the academy who didn't know anything to go out and investigate. Wasn't this asking them to die? Instructor Mao, did you guys dig up other people's ancestral graves? Little Seven asked. What ancestral graves? If you didn't dig up other people's ancestral graves, why are they targeting the academy? Those people have evil intentions and are arrogant beyond measure. It's just because we didn't bow down to them that they are targeting us. Mao San Quan said in disdain. This pill subdivision isn't anything good. Why are you guys still staying here? Sima Yue didn't understand. Not everyone in the pill subdivision is like that. The subdivision master is still okay. It's just that he and the president of the pill subdivision master aren't here during this period of time, So those rascals got what they wanted. Wei Jing explained. The president and the subdivision master aren't here at this time? Not only are they not here but they're probably dead. Mao Sanquan said with a hint of worry in his eyes. What? Mao Sanquan sighed and said, they went out to investigate the situation and haven't come back. We can't contact them. So those who know the situation is thinking that they've been killed. Some people with ulterior motives are already getting restless. That's why people like you who are on the side of the president and the leader have become a thorn in their side. They want to get rid of you as soon as possible. Sima Yue said. Mao Sanquan glanced at her and nodded. No wonder they asked us to investigate. Sima Yue said, this is the best way to get rid of you. What the F***ck, those old farts still want to kill us. Han Miao Shuang cursed, causing Mao Sanquan and Wei Jing to look askance. His eyes were blatantly saying, girls, be more elegant. Are we going out tomorrow? Su Xiaoxiao asked. Go, if we don't go we will be removed from the Alchemist Guild and the Dan Alliance. Mao Sanquan said, this way it will be even more in line with the wishes of those people. But I can go with a few teachers. You guys wait here for us to come back. We want to go too. Han Miao Shuang said, although we're not very strong we learned a lot of uncommon things from our masters. Since they can't find out the reason, it might be because it's too remote and ordinary people don't know about it. It might be useful for us to go. Mao Sanquan thought about how Su Jin sometimes did strange things and nodded, that's good too. Then you guys get ready. We'll go out tomorrow morning. Don't tell the other students in case they get distracted. Okay. Alright, you guys have a good rest. We'll go back first. Mao Sanquan stood up, the three of you have ways to protect your lives. Be careful tomorrow. If it's too chaotic we might not be able to protect you. We know. Mao Sanquan and the others left. Han Miao Shuang and Su Xiaoxiao went back too. Sima Yue thought for a while, called out some scarlet bees and released them. Don't let me see those old guys or else. Humph. Little Seven wanted to say don't let her see them, or else she would beat them up. But when she saw Sima Yue looking at her, she swallowed the rest of her words. She didn't have a good impression of the Alchemist Guild. A Luo Ming and some vice president made them take risks. The entire guild was not good people. The bees are all out. If there's really something between the Alchemist Guild and the Pill subdivision, we'll be able to understand the situation in time. Sima Yue said. After thinking for a while, she released some scarlet bees and asked them to go out of the city to check out the situation. Those people weren't willing to tell them the information and asked them to go out to check. They could only go and check out the situation first. On the morning of the second day, Mao Sanquan brought them to the city gate. They thought that only a few of them would go out. They didn't expect that when they reached the city gate, there were already many people waiting there. They should be the people who went with them this time. A man with a mustache saw Mao Sanquan and the others and pulled a long face. Why are you guys so late? Can't you see that everyone is here? What's the meaning of this? You don't want to go or are you trying to drag everyone down? Mao Sanquan glanced at him faintly and said, we came according to the time set yesterday. There's still 10 minutes to the agreed time. What are you blindly talking about? Sima Yue and Han Miao Shuang couldn't help but laugh when they saw Mao Sanquan like this. What are you laughing at? Let's see if you can still come back smiling. The mustache man saw Sima Yue and the others laughing and scolded angrily. Don't worry, I'll definitely come back smiling. Han Miao Shuang said with a smile, I just don't know if you can see it. Such a sharp tongue at such a young age. The mustache man said. He made a mental note to Heavenly Sect. He secretly thought that when they went there, he would definitely send them to the most dangerous place. Since everyone's here, let's go. They got on the flying beasts that were waiting at the side. These flying beasts were the lowest grade in the guild. They were slow and weak. It seemed like the others here were like them. They had no choice but to go. The flying beasts flew them for close to a day before they arrived at a mountain peak. After crossing these mountains, we'll reach that area. The mustache man said, you guys just came here a few days ago. You're not familiar with this place. I'll give you a simple description. Forget it. What you said is nonsense. It's as good as not saying anything. Mao Sanquan said, why don't we explore it ourselves? You said it yourself. Then you guys go by yourselves. I won't accompany you. I hope you guys can come back alive. The mustache man finished speaking and brought the guild's flying beasts back. Chapter 977. Did he really go back just like that? Han Miao Shuang watched as the flying beast flew further and further away. She blinked her eyes in disbelief. Wasn't this person here to lead them? How could he go back so confidently? You'll get used to it. A middle-aged man said. The people of the Alchemist Guild have always been like this. The people who came before didn't return. It's already very surprising that this person could bring us here. Another woman said. So arrogant? Sima Yue frowned. She felt that the Alchemist Guild of this continent was too arrogant. Sai, not everyone is like that, but those who are better are all suppressed by these people. Those who have real power are all like this. Over time, the whole union has become a mess. Didn't you say that the guild leader is a decent person? Why would he tolerate such a situation? The president is obsessed with alchemy and rarely manages the union's affairs. Now the vice president, Song Changjie, is in charge of everything. That Song Changjie is not a good person. What about the Alchemy Guild? The guild master of the Alchemy Guild and the president of the Alchemy Guild share the same interests. However, because the two of them were rare 11th grade alchemists, their status was noble, and those people could not directly seize their rights. Otherwise, I'm afraid that the position of president would have changed long ago. An 11th grade alchemist. So powerful. Sai, I heard that they didn't go back after coming here. No one can contact them. I hope we can find them this time. Otherwise, I'm afraid we won't be able to go back. The woman who spoke before said. Can't go back? What? Little Seven didn't understand. Although those people didn't know why Mao Sanquan would let a child come along, they still patiently answered her questions. Song Changjie asked us to come here so that we could die. If we're lucky enough to survive, they won't let us go back alive. As long as we die outside, they can tell the world that we died in an accident. You mean that if we don't die, they will come to kill us? Seven looked at Mao Sanquan and asked. Most likely. Mao Sanquan said. F***ck, why is that person so bad? Little Seven exclaimed. What a bully. Little Seven wanted to roll up her sleeves, but when she saw Sima Yue looking at her, she reluctantly put down her half-rolled-up sleeves. Sima Yue frowned. She did not expect the situation to become so serious. We just arrived here the day before yesterday, so we don't know anything about the situation here. Now that that person has left, how are we going to start investigating? Someone asked. This is indeed a difficult problem. Instructor Mao, your academy has always been well informed. Do you know what happened here? Mao Sanquan spread out his hands. We don't know anything either. Then you said you didn't want him to tell us the news? Someone reproached him. If not for him, the people from the Alchemist Guild would have told them some news. Now that that person had left, he said that he didn't know anything? Yeah. Mao Sanquan said, although I don't have any news, I know that what he told us is definitely not what we want. If you follow the news he gave you, you might not be able to come out alive. Everyone thought about it and agreed. The people from the Alchemist Guild wanted them to die as soon as possible. How could they give them accurate news? Then what do we do now? What else can we do? Investigate. But the people from the Alchemist Guild and the Alchemist Guild haven't found anything after investigating for so long. How can we investigate? That's right. Moreover, none of the people who came to investigate recently returned. If we investigate, won't it be dangerous? Probably not. I think that those who didn't return might not have died here. Most of them were killed by someone. Wei Jing guessed. This made sense. If the people who came these 2 times did not support Song Changjie like them, it was very likely that they were killed by someone else. If that was the case, it meant that the situation here was not as bad as it seemed. They were all smart people. After being reminded like this, they all understood the crux of the matter. Then let's split up and investigate. Someone suggested, this place is so big. If everyone stays together, we don't know when we will find any useful information. If we are too scattered, we might encounter danger. So I suggest that we split into 2 or 3 groups. This suggestion is not bad. We have a total of 8 forces. Let's split into 3 groups. Because Mao Sanquan's group had the least number of people, no one was willing to go with them. In the end, there was a group that reluctantly agreed. We are from the Sea Star Palace. I am Vice Palace Master Zhang Fei. The woman who spoke before introduced herself. Palace Master Zhang. Nice to meet you. Mao Sanquan greeted him in a lukewarm manner. I am the teacher in charge of this alchemy competition, Wei Zheng. These 4 are students from the academy. Wei Zheng saw that Mao Sanquan did not pay much attention to Zhang Fei and stepped forward. Most of the people from the Sea Star Palace were women and their strength was lower than the other forces. Therefore they had to be arranged with the people from the Heavenly Sect. Since we already know each other, let's discuss how to investigate. Zhang Fei said. Those people, relying on their strength, chose a safer area and let us go to the most dangerous place. Zhang Fei's disciple Zhang Meng said bitterly. Although they did not understand clearly, but they had heard some general information. At least everyone knew which area was the most dangerous. When choosing the scope of their investigation, the two teams chose a safer route, allowing Mao San Quan and the others to investigate another route. The first choice is not necessarily the safest, Sima Yue said. Yue, what did you find? Mao San Quan asked. Some news. Sima Yue said, at least we know which area has the most powerful spirit beasts. How do you know? Have you come here to investigate before? Zhang Meng looked young and had a lively personality. She liked to talk to people. Seeing that Sima Yue was so confident, she asked curiously. Sima Yue looked at the girl whose face was filled with anger and curiosity. She had a good impression of this kind of pure girl and smiled. I have my own little idea. Then according to what you said, our line is not the most dangerous? Han Miao Shuang said. No, our line is the one with the most deaths. Sima Yue said, it is the most dangerous area. Hearing what you said before, I thought this place was very safe. Zhang Meng said with disappointment. Sima Yue smiled. This place is the most dangerous, but we can make it the safest. Chapter 978. Read 336. The people from the Sea Star Palace did not really believe Sima Yue's words. After all, this guy looked too young. Although they didn't know her exact age, they could roughly tell. Was such a young person as powerful as she boasted? The answer was that it was impossible. Although they didn't believe it, they didn't show it. Little junior brother, what did you do? Han Miao Shuang knew that Sima Yue must have done something. Otherwise he wouldn't be so confident. This. Sima Yue took out a scarlet bee and said with a smile. You sent the bees out? When did this happen? Why didn't I see it? Han Miao Shuang cried out. Last night after you left. Sima Yue said, they've already roughly figured out the situation here, but they haven't gone in yet. But at least it should be fine for the next 2 days. Is this useful? Zhang Meng looked at the scarlet bee curiously and asked. The bees are very powerful. Little Seven said. Really? Why don't you just ask them to investigate the cause of this matter? Zhang Meng asked. You fool. Little Seven rolled her eyes. These bees can only see the surface of the situation. We have to investigate the real reason from the surface. Zhang Meng was despised, but she wasn't angry. She reached out and patted Little Seven's head, saying, I don't know them well. In a flash, Little Seven appeared on the other side of Sima Yue and dodged her hand. Zhang Meng's hand stopped in midair. She smiled awkwardly and returned to Zhang Fei's side. Since you've already sent them out, then you can lead the way. Mao San Quan said. Zhang Fei was surprised when she saw that Mao San Quan agreed with Sima Yue. She asked, Director Mao, are you sure? Palace Lord Zhang, if you trust old Mao, then come with us. Mao San Quan said directly. Seeing that Mao San Quan wasn't worried at all, Zhang Fei hesitated for a moment, nodded and said, I naturally trust you. Let's go then. Mao San Quan and Zhang Fei still had some friendship. If the people of the Sea Star Palace were willing to follow them, he would be happy to take them along, lest they die here. Hence, Sima Yue led the way. Everyone climbed over the mountain and went to the back of the mountain. As soon as they reached the top of the mountain, the scene before their eyes changed. It was no longer as lush as before. All the plants had turned black. They're all contaminated. Zhang Fei said in surprise when she saw the plants. I didn't expect it to become like this. Mao San Quan was also surprised. The information they had received before was not that serious. Sima Yue looked at the darkness in front of her and then at the lush greenery behind her. She frowned slightly and said, Why is it so clear? Only then did everyone notice this absolute difference. It seems to have started from under our feet, Zhang Meng said with her head lowered. Everyone lowered their heads and saw that it was indeed the case. They took a step forward and stepped into the world of darkness. The situation here gives people a creepy feeling. A woman from the Sea Star Palace rubbed her arms. It was obvious that the scene frightened her. Wei Jing squatted down, took out a pair of silk gloves and put them on. He pulled a plant up and sniffed it. The fishy smell is stronger. Han Miao Shuang and Su Xiao also took out gloves and put them on. For people like them who often carried various herbs, silk gloves were a necessity. Sima Yu directly plucked a stalk of grass and sniffed it, saying, The smell is indeed stronger. It seems that the situation here is worsening. Little Seven copied Sima Yue and also pulled one up. After sniffing it, she threw it on the ground and said, "This thing is really smelly. This thing is smelly." Sima Yue threw away the grass in her hand and took out a handkerchief to wipe little Seven's hand. Then she wiped it for herself. Ah! A painful cry attracted everyone's attention. They looked over and saw a disciple from the Sea Star Palace holding her right hand and screaming. "What's wrong?" Zhang Ming ran over and pried open the woman's slightly curled right hand. Her palm was completely corroded. There was also a small grass that was thrown away by her feet. "You touched this grass directly?" Zhang Fei knew the reason when she saw her hand. The disciple nodded with tears in her eyes. "This grass is poisonous. How can you touch it directly?" Zhang Fei scolded. "Didn't I say that you can't touch the things here when you come here?" She looked at Sima Yue. What she meant was that she saw her touch it directly with her hand, so she followed suit. Zhang Fei took out an antidote pill and fed it to her. She said to the people from the Sea Star Palace again. "I'll say it again. You can't touch the things here. Do you hear me?" "Yes, master." "Yes, Palace Master." When the people from the Sea Star Palace saw the disciple's hand, those who were still curious about the place put away their thoughts. "However, Yue, why is your hand fine?" Zhang Ming asked. "Yes, your hand is not corroded. This little sister's is not corroded either." Sima Yue said, "Little Seven and I have antibodies in our bodies." "What are antibodies?" "Antibodies are..." Sima Yue did not want to explain such a troublesome thing to them. She said, "It's similar to eating an antidote pill." "Then the two of you are immune to poison?" Zhang Ming immediately grasped the key point. "You can say so," Sima Yue said. "Palace Master, this antidote seems to be useless. Little junior sister's palm is still festering." Zhang Fei's observation of Sima Yue was interrupted by the exclamation. She looked over and saw that the person's hand was still festering. "How can the pill be useless? Then try eating this." Zhang Fei took out another pill and wanted to give it to the disciple, but she was stopped by Mao Sanquan. "Palace Master Zhang, that pill of yours is useless to her. If you delay any longer, her hand will be crippled. Instructor Mao, do you have any ideas?" Zhang Fei knew that the academy was very strong. In such a short time they could not research the antidote. Mao Sanquan took out a pill and threw it to her. She did not think twice and gave it to the disciple to eat. After the disciple ate the pill, the festering of her hand slowed down significantly and then it slowly started to scab. "When we were in the academy we studied the things here. Although we did not find out what exactly it was, we did find a little bit of an antidote." Mao Sanquan said, "Normal antidotes are useless to her. This one can suppress her for 10 days. If we can't find a real antidote after 10 days, she can only give up her hand." Mao Sanquan explained. "What?" The disciple held her wrist and looked at Zhang Fei with tears in her eyes. She said anxiously, "Palace Master, there are still 10 days. We have to find the reason quickly." Zhang Fei rubbed her forehead. "Let's hurry and go in." Chapter 979. Read 336. Because the disciples of the Sea Star Palace were injured, they rarely spoke along the way and rarely touched those things. Only Sima Yue and Little Seven were still doing whatever they were interested in. Their reckless behavior made them envious. After walking for half a day, they did not encounter a single spirit beast. Every time they were far away from a spirit beast, Sima Yue would lead them away. "Senior sister, look at this." Sima Yue picked up a plant and passed it to Han Miao Shuang. Han Miao Shuang put on the gloves and took it, saying, "This place is a little different from the outside." "Why can't I see anything different?" Little Seven took a look. It was as smelly as the outside. "Look here." Sima Yue pointed at the middle of the broken stem. "There is a red spot here." "I think so," Little Seven said. Han Miao Shuang squatted down and picked up some soil. She pinched it with her thumb and index finger and said, "Xiao Xiao, let's study it here. Who knows, we might be able to find an antidote." Su Xiao Xiao walked over and began to study it with Han Miao Shuang. Sima Yue walked over and said, "Director Mao, senior brother and senior sister want to study here. Let's camp here." Mao Sanquan looked at the already dark sky and said, "All right, let's set up camp here tonight. What do you think?" Zhang Fei nodded, and with a wave of her hand, the disciples began to set up camp. Sima Yue walked back to Han Miao Shuang and the others. Zhang Fei came to Mao Sanquan's side and said, "Director Mao, I also looked at the plants here and didn't find anything. The three of them are just 3 youngsters. Can they find the antidote?" Mao Sanquan looked at the 3 heads gathered together and said, Since they said there's hope, then there's no problem. We'll know the result tomorrow. Are they that powerful? Zhang Fei could not believe it. Do you know old Su? Mao Sanquan asked. Su Jin? Of course he knew him. If he was here, this problem wouldn't be a problem for him. Zhang Fei was familiar with Su Jin's name. Why didn't he come this time? He has something to do. Mao Sanquan said, it's okay if he didn't come. Those 3 kids, his disciples, together, can be compared to him. They are Su Jin's disciples? Zhang Fei looked at them in surprise. Yes. Look, they'll give us a surprise. Zhang Fei looked at the back view of Sima Yue and hoped that they could find the antidote. Sima Yue and the other 2 researched until midnight and finally got inspiration from the soil and successfully developed the antidote. Their cheers attracted everyone's attention. Mao Sanquan walked over and said, have you researched the antidote? Han Miao Shuang handed him a fiery red antidote and said, she can try if she's not afraid. Shui Qin, come here, Zhang Fei called out. It? Then her life might be in danger. Shui Qin pulled her hand out, looked at her festering right hand and said, if I have to cut it off, I'd rather try. Shui Qin walked over and bowed to Zhang Fei, Palace Master. Zhang Fei took the pill from Mao Sanquan and handed it to her, asking, are you willing to try? This disciple is willing. Shui Qin took the pill without hesitation. She thought a lot today. If it wasn't for her curiosity, her immaturity, and her disobedience to the Palace Master, today's incident wouldn't have happened. She had to cut off her right hand. She was unwilling. She didn't want to live like a dog. She knew that the moment she ate the pill, she would succeed. She hugged her right hand. If she didn't succeed, she would die or have no effect. No matter what the result was, she was willing to bear it. The people in the Sea Star Palace saw her eat the pill and looked at her nervously, afraid that something would happen to her. After waiting for a while, she still didn't have any reaction. The wound on her hand didn't change and she didn't feel uncomfortable. Did you fail? Little Seven asked after seeing no reaction for a long time. The others thought so too. Because ordinary pills would have an effect after eating, it would only take a few minutes. Now that more than 10 minutes had passed and there was still no effect, it meant that they failed this time. It seems that we have to continue the research. Even Han Miao Shuang said so. She also thought that the pill this time was a failure. Wait a few more minutes. Sima Yue said, maybe a miracle will happen. Han Miao Shuang saw that Sima Yue was so sure and nodded, then let's wait. After a few more minutes there was still no reaction. Just when everyone was about to give up, Shui Qin suddenly shouted, I feel it. I feel it. Little junior sister, how do you feel? Zhang Meng asked nervously. Shui Qin opened her hand and everyone saw that the rotten flesh was forming scabs at a speed visible to the naked eye. The scabs came off and new flesh grew. After more than 2 hours, her palm was completely new. If you didn't look carefully, you wouldn't be able to tell that she was injured. It's done. It's really done. Thank you all. Shui Qin looked at her new hand and thanked Sima Yue and the rest excitedly. It's really effective. Little Seven pulled her hand and poked the flesh in her palm to confirm that it was real. Didn't it have no effect just now? Some pills take longer to take effect. Sima Yue said, I looked at the surrounding plants, the speed of the red spots is very slow, so I guess that the antidote will take longer to take effect. No matter what, thank you all. Zhang Fei nodded to Sima Yue. Since you've researched the antidote, did you find out why this happened? Wei Jing asked. If we didn't guess wrongly, this isn't caused by the Ghost Clan or the Devil Clan, it's caused by humans. Sima Yue said. Caused by humans? Poison this place? Should be. Sima Yue said. This would also explain why only this side of the mountain looked like this. But why? Why would those people poison this place? Poison these Huahua plants? Everyone didn't understand. Sima Yue shook her head. They were only guessing that it was caused by humans and weren't very sure, let alone guessing their motive. Since we already have a clue, then we should follow this and investigate. We should be able to find the reason. Zhang Fei said. I'm afraid this matter isn't that simple. Mao Sanquan sighed. Zhang Fei also nodded in agreement. The pill competition was just around the corner, but someone actually did such a thing here and many people died because of it. How could such a thing be a simple matter? Chapter 980. Read 336. Now that they had found the right direction, they would have a target when they investigated later. Many things that those people had overlooked before were discovered by them, and some information was naturally found out. More and more clues confirmed their previous conjecture. Someone had poisoned all of these things. However, there wasn't much useful information. The more information they found, the colder Mao San Quan and the others' faces became, because they thought of even more distant things. Sima Yue and Han Miao Shuang also thought about it. If it was a poison from the central regions, it wouldn't be so overbearing that the people from the Alchemist Guild couldn't detect it. Therefore, the source of the poison was obvious. It must be from the inner region. The powers of the inner regions had interfered with the affairs of the outer regions and caused such a huge commotion. Furthermore, it was right before the alchemy competition. No matter what their goal was, it was enough to send chills down one's spine. We have to send this news back as soon as possible, Zhang Fei said. No. Mao San Quan stopped him. We can't send the news back. Zhang Fei saw that Mao San Quan stopped her and asked in confusion, why not? If we don't send the news back, I'm afraid more people will die. If word gets back, we'll be the ones to die. Mao San Quan said, do you want others to die or do you want us to die? Zhang Fei finally reacted. They were originally sent here by Song Changjia as cannon fodder. Let's not talk about whether or not they knew what happened here. Once they knew that they didn't die here, they would send people to kill them. If Song Changjia already knew that this was done by someone, or if they were the ones who did it, wouldn't he come to silence them after they spread the news? Therefore, no matter what, he could not contact those people. Then what should we do? We can't always stay here, right? Zhang Fei said. We have to think of a way. We can't just go back like this. Mao San Quan said. Yes. Zhang Fei also realized it. Indeed, we have to think of a good way to go back so that they can't do anything to us. We'll have to think about it carefully, Wei Jing said. Actually, there is a more direct way. Sima Yue opened her mouth and everyone looked over. Because she had led everyone to avoid the attacks of the spirit beasts, and was also the first to discover the antidote. She had deduced that these things were man-made, so everyone had unknowingly formed a kind of trust in her. What is it? Zhang Ming asked. The night before we left the city, I asked Hummingbird to investigate some information. One of them is that the current guild master and guild master are still alive. Sima Yue said. Mao San Quan and the others had said before that the president and the alliance master had not returned after coming here to investigate the matter. Everything pointed to disaster. You know they're still alive? The bee flew to the Alchemist Guild and heard the people inside talking. They said that although they didn't get any news about the president, they were sure that they weren't dead. Sima Yue said, if we can find them, we can go back directly. Look for the president and the alliance master? This area is so big and there are so many dangers. Where can we find them? And if they don't want to come back, how are we going to find them? That's right. This is the most direct, simple and effective method. Sima Yue said, if we think of other methods, it would be more difficult to implement. But I think that looking for the president and the others is the most difficult way. Someone muttered softly. The president and the others had been missing for so long. The guild must have sent many people to look for them. So many people couldn't find them. How could they find them with only a few people? As long as they're here, we can find them. Sima Yue said. If they're in danger, we can still save them. If they hide themselves, we can't find them even if we want to. The disciple of the Sea Star Palace said. Now I hope that they're in danger. If they're really hiding themselves, I'm afraid that it won't be of much use even if we find them. Wei Jing said. If they hid themselves, it meant that they couldn't go back now. It meant that the Alchemist Guild and the Alchemist Guild were going to change. Since they're here, let's find them first. Mao San Quan said, no matter what the situation is, we have to find them. The people from the Sea Star Palace nodded. They had to find the president and the guild leader to solve the problem. Student Yue, do you have a way? Zhang Fei looked at Sima Yue and asked. Since she could use the bees to help them avoid the spirit beasts, she should be able to find the living people here. Sima Yue nodded and released more scarlet bees. She let them fly in different directions. Seeing those bees fly away, she didn't understand. They were just here to participate in the competition. How did it turn into investigating the reason for this place? How did investigating the reason for this place turn into looking for people? The water in the Alchemist Guild was really deep. We've already been here for more than 10 days. The alchemy competition will start soon. If we don't go back on time, we'll be disqualified. There's still a month before the alchemy competition starts. It's such a long time, we'll have to go back. Han Miao Shuang said confidently. We've been avoiding those spirit beasts all the way here. I heard that they were affected and went crazy. I don't know if the other two teams met with them. Sima Yoyue's lips curled into an imperceptible smile. They had met quite a number of spirit beasts. She was really looking forward to meeting them again. It would definitely be a surprise. At the same time, on the other side of the mountain, more than 10 people were running while panting. Every one of them was panting heavily, and their clothes were tattered as if they were beggars on the streets. Many of them had bloodstains on them. And behind them there were many spirit beasts chasing after them. Those spirit beasts had lifeless eyes. They didn't look normal at first glance. "Why are there so many spirit beasts here?" they shouted. "I already said that spirit beasts would appear here. I told you not to speak loudly. It would attract them. You didn't listen to me. Look at you now. What's the use of saying all this now? Quickly think of a way to get rid of these guys. If there was a way, would we have been forced to run so far away? Damn it, we're really unlucky to meet these guys. Why didn't they attack the other two teams?" "That's right," someone agreed. "If we knew that there were so many crazy spirit beasts here, we would have left the people from the Sea Star Palace and the Heavenly Sect together. That way they could have blocked them for us for a while, letting the weaker people be their meat shields." Sima Yoyue's face instantly darkened after hearing what the bees said. Chapter 981. You want to use them to back you up? Dream on. Sensing Sima Yoyue's anger, everyone turned to look at her. "What happened, Yu? Those people are being chased by spirit beasts. They asked why they didn't come with us so that we could buy some time for them," Sima Yoyue repeated. "Screw her grandpa. Who said that? I'll go kill him." Little Seven angrily rolled up her sleeves. The people from the Sea Star Palace were also very angry and asked her who had said that. "I don't know either. They have an eagle embroidered on their clothes," Sima Yoyue said. "It's an eagle? That should be the Osprey Hall." Zhang Fei said. "Humph, the people of the Osprey Hall have always been selfish. It's not surprising that he thought of using us to back up Manar. But they are too naive. Master, those people are too hateful. We can't just let it go like this," Zhang Ming said angrily. "If we meet them, we'll definitely find a chance to teach them a lesson," Zhang Fei said calmly. "Little junior brother, how are they now?" Han Miao Shuang asked. "They're being chased by spirit beasts all over the mountain," Sima Yoyue said. "Looking at them, I don't think they'll make it here. If they can't hold on, then it's their good fortune. If you come, we'll settle our old and new debts together." Sima Yoyue saw that the people from the Sea Star Palace were so angry and guessed that they must have had some conflicts in the past. At this moment, the interspatial ring moved and a hole opened in the air. A plain-looking man walked out. When he saw Sima Yoyue, he smiled and flew over. He resisted the urge to grab her and looked at her with a serious expression. Sima Yoyue recognized him at first glance and asked in surprise, "Why are you here? Have you settled the matter?" Wu Lingyu was very satisfied that she had seen through her disguise and recognized her. She smiled and said, "Almost. Little junior brother, this is?" Han Miao Shuang looked at Wu Lingyu and then at Sima Yoyue. Why did she feel that this man was weird? This is a friend of mine. He said he would come and see me." Sima Yoyue said, You can call him Little Five." Wu Lingyu raised an eyebrow. "Little Five? Junior Magus?" Disgusting chills. But seeing the smile in her eyes, he still nodded and said, "You can call me Little Five. Well, we have something to talk about in private." "Excuse me." Sima Yoyue then flew away with Wu Lingyu. Little Seven pouted at their backs. Wasn't this guy going to settle some matters? How did he get here so quickly? Wu Lingyu and Yoyue didn't stop until they couldn't see them anymore. "Why did you come here all of a sudden? Why didn't you tell me?" Sima Yoyue glared at him. "What if I accidentally exposed your identity? You can't recognize me? It turns out that you recognized me." Wu Lingyu hugged her and bent down to kiss her. Sima Yoyue responded to him passionately, pouring all her thoughts into this kiss. After a while the two separated. "You're here now. Have you settled everything?" Sima Yoyue remembered how he left in a hurry last time, saying that he had something to settle. But he came back a few days later. She didn't know how it was going. "It's all settled. When I went back last time, it was at the most crucial stage. After this, there's nothing else." Wu Lingyu caressed her cheek. Sima Yoyue was very touched. He said that it was at the most crucial stage, but he immediately rushed over when he knew that something had happened to her. This meant that she was the most important person in his heart. "How long will you stay this time?" She wrapped her arms around his waist and leaned on his chest. "I won't be leaving for now." Wu Lingyu hugged her and rested his chin on her head. "I've only been away for a few days, but I find that I miss you even more. What should I do? I want to tie you to my side so that I can see you every moment. Or numb. Sima Yue said as she pinched the R on his waist. But she couldn't help but smile. When can we get married? Wu Lingyu muttered, I wanted to finish the matter in the devil realm first, but I can't wait any longer. Tell me, when can we get married? Sima Yue thought for a while and said, revenge can be done slowly, but there are some things that must be done. What things? You know about me. Since I'm in this body and I've promised the previous her I'm her. So I have to find my parents first. Getting married is a big thing, so it must be done with the whole family. Sima Yue said. But you don't even know your current identity now. If you want to find your parents, it will take some time. It's really an unhappy thing. Wu Lingyu sighed. But he had no reason to refute because this was something that couldn't be refuted. But he could get someone to investigate and help her find her parents sooner. I don't think it will take long. Sima Yue said, last time they told me that my spiritual fusion technique is the secret technique of the inner region Sima family. I heard that only those with the bloodline of the Sima family can use it. The inner region Sima family, I've heard of it before. Wu Lingyu said, with this clue, it will be much easier to investigate. Then I'll leave this matter to you. Don't worry, I'll definitely find out for you. Okay. Sima Yue enjoyed the feeling of being able to rely on him occasionally. She was willing to share some of her burden with him, and at the same time she was willing to share his burden. But this guy didn't tell her anything. Every time he would just say that he had something to do. When she became stronger, she should be able to face those things with him, right? But this kind of feeling was still not good. Wu Lingyu felt that she was a little disappointed and asked, what are you thinking about that makes you unhappy? Sima Yue thought about it and decided to tell him her thoughts. Lingyu, since we're together now, I want to know more about you. If you have something, I want to face it with you, and I don't want to be in the dark all the time under your protection. It's not that I don't like you shielding me from all the storms, but I prefer to be with you. Wu Lingyu lowered his head to look at her serious face. He knew that she liked to purely protect him. In the past, he chose to protect her behind him because her strength was too weak. It seemed that this little fellow was unhappy because of that. But he believed that even if she was switched from behind to beside him, he could still protect her well. Since you said so, I'll tell you if I have anything in the future and let you handle it with me. How about that? That's more like it. Sima Yue smiled in satisfaction. Chapter 982. They stayed there for quite a while. When they heard the screams coming from the other side, they knew that something had happened and hurried back. As soon as he crossed the call, he saw them fighting with a group of spirit beasts. It's them? Sima Yue recognized them. Osprey Hall? What happened to them? Wu Lingyu asked. Sima Yue told him about what had happened and he was immediately filled with hostility towards these people. Although he was just a small dregs, the idea of having his Yu as a human support made him rather unhappy. Is it going to be settled? He frowned. No need, the people from the Starfish Palace will teach them a lesson. Sima Yue stopped her. When he made his move, these people immediately died. It was not as comfortable as slowly tormenting them. Wu Lingyu understood what Sima Yue meant. Although she didn't want to fight directly, she still didn't like those people. The people from the Osprey Hall originally thought that they were dead for sure because these spirit beasts had been chasing them for a long time. However, not long after they mentioned the people from the Sea Star Palace, they saw them resting in a valley. Therefore it was unknown whether it was out of instinct or because they wanted to divert the trouble, but they ran towards Mao San Quan and the others. When the people from the Sea Star Palace saw the people from the Osprey Hall leading the spirit beasts towards them, the anger in their hearts immediately flared up. *CK they were just talking about using them as backups and now they were doing this. Did they really think they were made of clay? Palace Lord Zhang, save me. The people from the Osprey Hall shouted as they ran over. When they saw that not a single one of them was missing and that they didn't seem to be in a sorry state, they were puzzled. However, now was not the time to be curious about this. First, they had to deal with these spirit beasts. When the spirit beasts saw this, many of them turned to attack the people from the Sea Star Palace and the Academy. *CK these shameless people. Little Seven wanted to fight those Osprey Hall people, but Han Miao Shuang pulled her back, saying, let's deal with those spirit beasts first. Although Little Seven was unwilling, she still obediently went to deal with those spirit beasts. She clenched her fists and ran over, giving those spirit beasts a good beating. Her attacks were ferocious and fast. The weaker ones were dealt with a single punch, while the stronger ones were dealt with in a matter of seconds. Very quickly, the spirit beasts that were chasing after her were all taken care of by her. When the people from the Sea Star Palace saw Little Seven's combat power, their jaws dropped to the ground. Is she even human? Zhang Ming felt like she was hallucinating. How could this little girl be so powerful? She's not human. Zhang Fei said, such a young human child who has just started cultivating, it's impossible for her to be so powerful. She should be a transformed divine beast. With such a strong combat power, no wonder they brought her here. Zhang Fei looked at Mao Sanquan and the others. Although there were very few people in the academy, their strength made people raise their eyebrows. The people from the Osprey Hall were the most surprised. They originally thought that these people would be able to hold on for a while, allowing them to successfully escape from these spirit beasts. Who would have thought that they would be able to take care of all those spirit beasts? Moreover, it was done by one person. Who is this little fellow? He's actually so powerful. Someone from the Osprey Hall cried out. Their leader, Su Gang, narrowed his eyes as he looked at Xiao Qi, his eyes filled with curiosity and plunder. If he didn't remember incorrectly, this little girl was from the heavenly sect. Previously he thought that bringing this little girl would be a hindrance, but he didn't think that she would be such a strong transformed divine beast. If this little girl became one of their people, Xiao Qi felt a chill run down her back. She turned around and saw Su Gang looking at her. She fiercely glared back, then walked towards Sima Yue and Wu Lingyu. Su Gang, what is the meaning of this? You actually lured the spirit beasts to us. This move of diverting the disaster is truly ruthless. Zhang Fei bit down on the Su Gang's words. Su Gang had always minded the fact that he was still a vice hall master despite being in the Osprey Hall for so many years. Zhang Fei was ruthlessly stepping on his sore spot. However, in the face of the furious gazes of the Sea Star Palace, they did not dare to directly fall out with them. Su Gang forced a smile, cupped his hands towards Zhang Fei and said, Palace Lord Zhang, you've wronged us. We didn't expect you to be here. When we saw you, we subconsciously wanted to ask for help. There's no such thing as diverting the disaster. You've already said that you want us and the academy to be your people's support. Why are you denying it now? A female disciple directly exposed his words. Su Gang was startled. They had said this before, but they were so far away. How did they know? Could it be that they had clairvoyant ears? However, no matter what, they didn't dare to argue with them now. They could only smile and deny it, saying, What are you saying? How could we say such things? Whether you said it or not, you know in your hearts. Zhang Ming said coldly. Of course we wouldn't say such things. Su Gang was puzzled as to how they knew, but he didn't want to continue this topic. He changed the topic, asking, None of you are missing and there are no traces of battle. Could it be that you haven't met any spirit beasts? No. We haven't met any spirit beasts these past few days. Zhang Fei denied. What? Did you meet many spirit beasts? Right, you had 3 factions together at that time. How come you're the only ones left now? You haven't met any spirit beasts? The Osprey Hall people stared with wide eyes, looking at them in disbelief. That's right. Han Miao Shuang's eyes turned, saying, They all said that this is the most dangerous area. How come we haven't met any? Could it be that you're mistaken? Her expression was puzzled, as if there really weren't any spirit beasts here. The Osprey Hall people felt as if they had eaten a fly. They had clearly left them the most dangerous area. How did it become like this? If they had known, they would have come here themselves. Right, you haven't said anything about the people who were with you? Han Miao Shuang said, Could they be dead? Did you leave them behind as human shields? She said it very straightforwardly and hit the nail on the head. Those people couldn't refute her. Su Gang continued to show off his ability to spout nonsense. He pretended to be sad and regretful, saying, How could that be? The spirit beast's attacks were too powerful. We had no choice but to split up and escape to disperse their strength. Why, you didn't see them. Sima Yue listened from the valley. She admired how thick-skinned this person was. Those people had clearly been dragged to the back by them, but now he said that they had split up and escaped. Truly, a shameless person would want the bark of a tree. We're all here to investigate the reason for this place. Why don't we go together? Su Gang started to plot. Chapter 983. Read 336. You want to be with us? Zhang Fei glanced at Su Gang and directly refused. I don't want to be with people I hate. What a straightforward rejection. Even though Su Gang was thick-skinned, he couldn't hold it in any longer. He shifted his gaze to Mao Sanquan and said, Director Mao, are you willing to let us go together? Mao Sanquan looked at the brilliant chrysanthemum on Su Gang's face and felt disgusted. He shook his head. No, 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 I don't want to see your ugly face. This was even more straightforward than Zhang Fei's words. If that's the case, then we can only look for our former companions, Su Gang said with some embarrassment. However, although he said a lot of such things, they didn't move. Their actions showed that they didn't really want to leave. They were waiting for everyone to urge them to stay. Sima Yu looked at Su Gang with a mocking smile on her lips. She came down from the call and came to Mao Sanquan's side. She said, "Director Mao, didn't you say that there is strength in numbers?" Mao Sanquan raised his eyebrows. When he saw Sima Yue winking at him, he understood and changed the topic. "Yes, I did say that." Hearing this, Su Gang's face lit up and he said, "That's right, Dean Mao. There's strength in numbers. If we encounter any more spirit beasts, it'll be easier to deal with them with more people." "That seems to be the case," Mao Sanquan said, "but we still have to choose the right person." "But we don't have a choice now, do we?" Sima Yue said, "The situation here is not optimistic, we need more people." Su Gang did not expect Sima Yue to speak up for them. He smiled and said, "This little friend is right. The situation is a little special now. It's better for everyone to stick together." Mao Sanquan turned his gaze to Zhang Fei, seeking her opinion. Zhang Fei was silent for a while, then said, "If you want to stay, I will treat them as heir." This could be considered as an indirect agreement. Since Sima Yue wanted them to stay, they would do her a favor. Moreover, after interacting with each other for the past few days, they believed that Sima Yue did not let them stay purely because she wanted to help them. "Since even you have said so, then fine. You can come with us, but don't expect us to bring up the rear when you encounter danger." Mao Sanquan snorted as if he was very unwilling to let them stay. When Su Gang heard that they had all agreed, he smiled and said, "Of course not, of course not." As he spoke, he glanced at Little Seven. With such a powerful combat strength, with her around, even if they encountered more powerful spirit beasts, they wouldn't have to run away. This little girl really moved his heart. If he had her, he would definitely be able to rise to the main hall and get rid of this damn sub-hall master. "If that's the case, then let's continue on our way," Mao Sanquan said. "On the road? Where are we going?" "We didn't find anything outside, so we have to go deeper." Sima Yue said, "Deputy Palace Master Su, are you sure you want to follow us?" The faces of the people from the Osprey Hall changed. They had already encountered so many spirit beasts. If they went deeper, wouldn't they encounter even more powerful spirit beasts? Wouldn't it be even more dangerous to follow them? "Palace Master?" Some of the disciples wanted to retreat. Su Gang hesitated for a moment, then gritted his teeth and said, "We'll go with you." "Have you thought it through?" Mao Sanquan said, "If we meet any spirit beasts, we might not be able to take care of you." "We've thought it through," Su Gang said firmly. He believed that as long as Little Seven and Mao Sanquan were around, they would be fine. However, what happened next was completely out of their expectations. Ever since they had joined the Osprey Hall, they would occasionally meet some spirit beasts. Those spirit beasts would always attack them. A few of them would find trouble with the Sea Star Palace, but very few of them would attack the academy. Little Seven stood beside Sima Yue without moving. "Instructor Mao, how can you just stand by and watch?" Someone shouted at them. "We didn't stand by and watch. We also have our own spirit beasts to deal with," Mao Sanquan said innocently. Su Gang and the others were so angry that their lungs were about to explode. What did he mean by they had spirit beasts to deal with? Did that spirit beast that was just staring at Little Seven count? Did it count? Did it count? Don't think that they didn't see it because they were busy dealing with the spirit beasts. Everyone in the academy was just standing by and watching. Even the people from the Sea Star Palace had to deal with one spirit beast in twos or threes, but they had to deal with one or two spirit beasts each. What kind of situation was this? Why did those spirit beasts keep attacking them and not others? Could it be that these spirit beasts recognized people and attacked them? Sima Yue and the others stood at the top of the mountain and watched the heated battle below. "Aren't we being a little unkind by doing this?" Su Xiaoxiao scratched his head, but he didn't have any intention of going down to help. "We didn't do anything. We just smeared something on our bodies." Han Miao Shuang crossed her arms in front of her chest and chuckled. "Because the people from the Sea Star Palace are closer to us, they also have that smell on their bodies. Those spirit beasts naturally won't do anything to them." Wei Jing said, "But I'm very curious. How did you guys come up with this kind of powder that the spirit beasts hate?" "Master likes to study these strange things," Su Xiaoxiao replied. Wei Jing shrugged. Alright, we should have thought of him earlier. He always has so many strange ideas. A powder that the spirit beasts hate when they go crazy. Master does have strange ideas. Thinking of Su Jin, Sima Yue smiled helplessly. Most people who study powders usually study spirit beasts when they are awake. Who would study spirit beasts when they are not in a clear state of mind? No matter what, this powder is useful to us. Mao Sanquan said, "Oh right, do you still have this? Give me some more for future use." Yes, Master made a lot. Sima Yue took out a few bottles and handed them to Mao Sanquan. Mao Sanquan smiled as he took the things. Su Jin didn't give them these things in the past. He didn't think that he would give so much to his little disciples. Teach these people a good lesson. Let them have a taste of being used as human shields. Sima Yue said. The people from the Sea Star Palace will definitely like this result. It's better than telling them to scram. Han Miao Shuang said. They knew that Sima Yue didn't have good intentions when she asked the people from the Osprey Hall to stay. They didn't think that there would be such a trick. Who asked them to be so annoying? Little Seven finished off the spirit beast and turned around. Sima Yue's expression suddenly changed as she said to everyone, "The bees sent news that they found traces of the president." Chapter 984. Read 336. Hearing that there was news about the guild leader, Mao Sanquan and the others all looked over. This news wasn't too sudden. With the bees doing a carpet search, it was only a matter of time before they were found. We have to settle this quickly. Be sent news that the situation over there isn't good. Sima Yue said. What's wrong? Wei Jing asked. The bees said they were trapped. Someone is chasing after them. Sima Yue said, it seems like it's not that they don't want to go back but they can't. Someone actually dares to chase after the guild president and Pill Subdivision's leader outside Cloud Sea City? Han Miao Shuang said in surprise. There will always be people with ulterior motives, Sima Yue said. We'll head over once they've dealt with the spirit beasts here. Don't we need to rush over to save them? Wei Jing asked. They can still hold on for a while. Sima Yue said, let's get rid of these people first. It hurts my eyes to bring them on the road. Since your eyes hurt, why did you take them for such a long time? The people from the Sea Star Palace dealt with each spirit beast in 2s and 3s. They quickly retreated, leaving only the spirit beasts and the people from the Osprey Hall fighting. Director Mao, we can't hold on any longer. Are you still going to stand by and watch? Su Gang shouted to Mao Sanquan when he saw that the people from the Sea Star Palace had also retreated, leaving them to deal with the spirit beasts. Don't you guys like to let others cover for you and let others be your human shields? Now that you've tasted it, how do you feel? Zhang Fei sneered. Palace Master Zhang, we didn't say anything like that. Why are you framing us again and again? Su Gang shouted. You know best whether I have or not. Zhang Fei said, you abandoned others before, and now you have a taste of being abandoned. You all know. Su Gang's pupils shrank. They clearly weren't there, so how could he speak as if he had seen it with his own eyes? Of course I do. Zhang Fei said, I know how you've tricked others. I know that you've asked us to be your human shields. Su Gang, you've done this before. Do you think you can do it again? How did you know? Su Gang couldn't believe it. Naturally, we have our ways. Instead of yelling at us, why don't you focus on dealing with these spiritual beasts? Who knows, this might be your last moment in this world. Su Gang was so angry that he almost vomited blood. In a moment of distraction, he was struck by the spirit beast in front of him. His entire body flew out and landed right in front of a high-grade sacred beast. It stretched out its huge foot and stomped down hard. When it moved its foot away, he had already become a flat meat patty. A palace master of a sub-palace had died just like that. If word got out, it would be too shameful. When the people of the Osprey Hall saw that their leader had died, the last line of defense in their hearts was completely broken. They were quickly annihilated by the spirit beasts. After the spirit beasts finished killing the people in the valley, they all looked up at the valley. Little Seven's might pressed down, causing all the spirit beasts to tremble on the ground. Either die or scram. Although the spirit beasts had lost their minds due to the poison, they hadn't completely lost their minds. After being frightened by Shao Qi, they all retreated. When Little Seven retracted her pressure, they all ran away without even looking back. Sima Yue set fire to those people's bodies and burned all the corpses. Then she called out Chongming and said to everyone, let's go. The people from the Sea Star Palace didn't know what was going on at first. Only on the way did they know that there was news of the president and the others. They flew towards the depths of this area. On the way they met many spirit beasts. However, with little Seven around, those spirit beasts that were itching to attack all retreated. The Alchemist Guild's president, Xia Chang Tian, and the Pill Subdivision's chief, Zhao Xiangqi, were currently leading a few bodyguards to fight in a mountain range. Every one of them had suffered serious injuries and their spirit energy was on the verge of drying up. It was a good thing that they had top-grade pills on them that could continuously replenish their spirit energy. President, Chief, we can't go on like this. You guys should leave first. The Alchemist Guild's bodyguard, Xia Chang Tian's bodyguard, Gao Zhihong, said. Haha, you want to escape? We have so many people. Do you think you can escape? A black-clothed man laughed loudly. We have so many people. You won't be able to escape even if you have wings. Just who are you people? Zhao Xiangqi asked as he clutched his chest. His face was pale and a red-clothed lady was supporting him. He was still on the verge of collapsing and looked like his injuries weren't light. Just wait until you go to hell and you'll naturally know who we are. That black-clothed man said, You guys are indeed capable, but who asked you to be disobedient? You're from there. Xia Chang Tian immediately reacted when he heard this. Everyone says that President Xia is an alchemy maniac. I didn't think that you would be so smart. Since you know, then obediently go to hell. That black-clothed man's eyes revealed a strong killing intent. Once you're dead, all of your obstructions will no longer exist. So it was you guys who did this. Xia Chang Tian was also injured. When he spoke, the smell of blood surged, but he forcefully suppressed it. That's right. That black-clothed man pulled down the veil on his face and said, If you guys had agreed to Master's request earlier, you wouldn't have ended up like this today. Not only that, you guys could have obtained unparalleled glory. It's a pity that you guys didn't cherish this opportunity. Pay. Xia Chang Tian spat at him. This childish way of doing things made the people hiding at the side laugh. Keep your mouth shut. You want us to do things for you? That's impossible. Zhao Xiangqi looked at that person with disdain. We don't need you to do anything for us now. That black-clothed man's lips curled into a meaningful smile. As long as you guys die, there will be someone to take your place and make the decisions for you. I knew it. Those people must have colluded with you guys. Otherwise you wouldn't know about us every time. Song Changjia, that trash, see if I don't tear him apart when I get back. Ha ha ha, that's on the premise that you guys can return alive. The black-clothed man laughed loudly. Unfortunately, you can only dream about it. We'll send you to hell right now. Go. Alliance leader, you and President go first. I'll hold them back. The red-clothed lady supporting Zhao Xiangqi released him and handed him over to another person. Only don't. You go first. With your ability you can escape. Zhao Xiangqi grabbed her hand, not letting her go forward. None of you will be able to escape today. The black-clothed man said, Go, don't leave a single one alive. Yes. More than 10 supreme gods attacked Xia Chang Tian and the others. The situation became extremely urgent. Chapter 985. The guards of the Alchemist Guild and the Dan Alliance quickly surrounded the two of them, preparing to use their last bit of strength to block the attacks of these people. Their faces were filled with the determination to face death. They were already mentally prepared for today's outcome. There were so many people on the other side and every one of them was full of spirit energy. What about them? Everyone was seriously injured, and their spiritual power was almost exhausted. Although they had pills to support them, they still couldn't fight against the enemy's numbers. Right now they only wanted to buy a little bit of time for their master to escape. But why did the attack stop when they got close to them? Those people were still fine and the spiritual technique hadn't been attacked, so why did it stop? Those people also realized that something was wrong. Their attacks were clearly about to hit those people, but why did they suddenly feel that those people were so far away that they couldn't hit them? Guild leader? What's going on? Spatial seal. Red said in surprise. Someone is here to save us. Space lock? Who can seal such a large space? Gao Jihong frowned. As far as he knew, no one in the central region was able to seal off such a large space. If it was someone from the inner region, then who would appear here at this time? What was his purpose in coming here? No matter who it is, I'm sure they aren't in cahoots with the other party. Xia Chang Tian said. At this time, a cold voice came from behind the crowd. Spatial conversion change. By the time he finished speaking, everyone had already appeared on the hillside 100 meters away. The men in black did not expect that the people in the middle would suddenly disappear. Sensing their appearance, Everyone looked over. Unfortunately, before they could see what was going on, a dozen small metal balls fell from the sky. Bang! 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 The successive explosions caused the people from the Alchemist Guild and the Dan Alliance to be stunned. This series of unforeseen events caused them to be unable to react. Sima Yue supported Chongming and asked, "How are you?" Chongming's mouth overflowed with a trace of blood. He weakly waved his hand and said, "I'm fine. I'll be fine after taking some pills and resting. Then you can go back." Sima Yue took out a pill and gave it to him. Chongming swallowed the pill, and with a shout, the spatial seal that was similar to that of the Alchemist Guild opened. He nodded at Sima Yue and Yue took him back. The people of the Alchemist Guild had already noticed the commotion here, but they didn't expect that the person who saved them with the spatial transformation was actually a divine beast. The smell of the golden snake fruit. Even from so far away, Xia Changtian could smell the ingredients of the pill. He stared at Sima Yue with a burning gaze. Zhao Xiangqi also smelled it. He pulled the guy who was about to drool and said, "Don't worry about that for now. The matter here hasn't been resolved yet." Xia Changtian reluctantly looked down, but was stunned by the scene in front of him. What's going on? He blinked twice, unable to believe what he was seeing. The small metal ball exploded half of the people into smithereens. Some of the stronger ones reacted quickly and used their spirit energy to protect themselves at the last moment. They originally thought that they had escaped, but they didn't expect that when they were preparing to fly away, they all fell from the sky and landed on their backs or ate a mouthful of dirt. What's going on? So many people were defeated in an instant. The situation took a 180-degree turn. Little junior brother, I didn't expect your poison to be so useful. Even monarch-ranked experts can't take it. Do you have any more? Give me some to protect myself in the future. Han Miao Shuang looked at their reactions and said with a smile, "I don't have any more, but I can give you the recipe later." Sima Yue said. These medicinal powders were the leftover from when she gave Wang Si Miao. Recently, she had been busy and didn't have time to refine new ones. It's fine if you have the recipe. Han Miao Shuang nodded. Are all those people defeated? Zhang Meng looked at the tragic scene below and couldn't accept it. They had already been here for a while. Because the opponent had more people and was much stronger than them, they didn't immediately go out to save them. Just as everyone was at their wits' end, Sima Yue called Chongming out, then took out many thunderbolt bombs and poured in a lot of medicinal powders. She told them to throw it over after Chongming swapped people out. At first, they didn't think that this method would work. They thought that it was impossible to swap people out, and this small metal ball didn't have much power. But what happened next made them deeply impressed by Sima Yue's intelligence. They also had a strong interest in this small metal ball. I remember, this is the rumored thunderbolt bomb. Shui Qin shouted. That's right, this is definitely a thunderbolt bomb. I didn't expect it to be so powerful. Now that you mention it, I remember. This thunderbolt bomb does look like this. I didn't expect that we would personally use this thing. The disciples of the Sea Star Palace were still discussing intensely. Zhang Fei and Mao Sanquan had already walked down from the mountain and came in front of Xia Changtian and the others. They bowed to them. Subdivision Leader. President Xia. Zhao Xiangqi looked deeply at Sima Yue, then waved to them and said, "You may rise." Thank you, Subdivision Leader. Sima Yue looked at Han Miao Shuang silently, using her eyes to ask, "You have to bow to the Pill Subdivision Leader?" Han Miao Shuang raised her eyebrows. Don't you know that they are superior and subordinate? Sima Yue was speechless. She always thought that the heavenly sect was an independent force, but it seemed that it wasn't so. Thank you for saving us. Zhao Xiangqi said to Mao Sanquan, but his eyes were looking at Sima Yue. Mao Sanquan saw this and waved to Sima Yue, indicating for her to go to the front. Sima Yue greets the subdivision leader. She cupped her hands towards Zhao Xiangqi, but didn't give a formal bow. You're Sima Yue? Su Jin's disciple? Zhao Xiangqi looked at Sima Yue and saw the surprise in her eyes. He explained, your master told us that he took in another disciple and she is very talented. Sima Yue didn't think that Su Jin would spread her name here, and was a little surprised. Don't you know that your master is a fanatic? Zhao Xiangqi looked at her with a smile. I don't know. Sima Yue shook her head. She really didn't know that Su Jin had such a hobby. Is your contracted beast a Chongming bird? Although Zhao Xiangqi was asking, his tone was very certain. Sima Yue nodded. She had never met a space-type spirit beast other than the Chongming bird. Thank him for us. Zhao Xiangqi smiled. I will. Sima Yue nodded. She always thought that the Pill subdivision leader and the Alchemist Guild's president would have the image of a sloppy uncle, but these two handsome guys really surprised her. Especially the way they smiled at her, it made some people uncomfortable. Even from so far away she could feel the pressure. Chapter 986. Indeed, unlike the previous alchemists, Xia Changtian and Zhao Xiangqi were not sloppy old men, but two handsome young men. Xia Changtian was dressed in white, looking elegant and graceful. Zhao Xiangqi was dressed in a long blue gown, looking like an orchid tree. These two people must be misophobic and narcissistic. Sima Yue thought to herself that only a misophobic alchemist would pay so much attention to his appearance. Only a narcissist would allow himself to stay young forever. How did you guys find us? Xia Changtian was rather familiar with Mao Sanquan, so he walked over and put his hand on his shoulder as he asked. Yue discovered it. Mao Sanquan said. This little guy? Everyone was a little surprised. This little guy didn't seem to be very strong. How did he find them? I have an assistant. Sima Yue said. They were the ones who discovered it. As she spoke, a few scarlet bees flew out from the surrounding trees and flowers. They circled Sima Yue twice before flying away. Damn, is that a scarlet bee? Xia Changtian shouted loudly, wanting to chase after those scarlet bees, but because his injuries were too heavy, he was pulled back by Gao Zhihong who was beside him. Guild leader, your injuries are too serious. Don't run around. When he said that, Xia Changtian pursed his lips. Although he was unhappy, he didn't chase after the scarlet bees. He turned to Sima Yue and asked, those are scarlet bees, right? Sima Yue did not expect these old fellows' eyes to be so sharp that they could recognize her even after she had transformed into a scarlet bee. Ha, I knew it. Xia Changtian saw Sima Yue's silent agreement and shouted excitedly, how did you get so many scarlet bees? Where did you find it? Have you seen the queen bee? Guild leader, you're scaring him, Gao Zhihong said in a deep voice. Sima Yue realized that Xia Changtian was very obedient to Gao Zhihong. Although Mao Sanquan said that he was the captain of his bodyguards, she realized that there was something different between the two of them. As long as he said something, Xia Changtian would listen to him. Only later did she find out that Gao Zhihong had followed Xia Changtian for several hundred years. To be more precise, the two of them had been together since they were young, and had been together for 1,000 years. They were master and servant in name, but in reality they were family. And because Xia Changtian was disobedient in the past, Gao Zhihong almost died a few times. Perhaps it was the guilt in his heart, or perhaps it was the 1,000 years of companionship, but he listened to Gao Zhihong very much. So many scarlet bees, you must have a scarlet bee king, right? Zhao Xiangqi smiled. Can we meet it later? Sima Yue nodded. Zhao Xiangqi's smile deepened. Wu Lingyu went to Sima Yue and grabbed her hand. Sima Yue was shocked and turned to look at him. Zhao Xiangqi was surprised by Wu Lingyu's cold aura. He felt a faint hostility from him and was puzzled. He asked, who is this? Sima Yue was a little embarrassed. She was dressed as a man, and he was holding her hand in front of everyone. Other people might think too much. Ha, old Zhao, can't you tell? Xia Changtian laughed. They're so obvious, they must be a couple. Zhao Xiangqi frowned. Xia Changtian came to his side and patted his shoulder, saying, I told you before, don't be so surprised when you see this. They're together because they truly love each other. Sima Yue was embarrassed. They all thought that she was a man and liked men. Little Yue, don't be afraid. Old Zhao is like this. Xia Changtian came to Sima Yue's side and said, come, tell me when you guys did that, were you on top or bottom? Hearing this, her face flushed red. What the hell was this? You're all mistaken. We're not like what you think. She explained. Although their relationship was right, she was a woman. Don't be embarrassed. This isn't a big deal. Don't be scared off by the secular world. And then I support you. Xia Changtian said sincerely. To hell with your support. What a disrespectful old man. Sima Yue cursed in her heart. Wu Lingyu looked at Sima Yue and smiled faintly, looking at her with eyes full of emotions. This confirmed everyone's thoughts. Han Miao Shuang and Su Xiaoxiao knew that she was a woman, so they didn't think too much. Instead, they were curious about Wu Lingyu's identity. But the disciples of Sea Star Palace were upset. Along the way, many people were subdued by her charms and had feelings for her. But before they could find a chance to confess, something like this happened. Their beloved man actually liked men. They could almost hear their hearts breaking. Cough cough. This president, chief, let's settle the people below first. Han Miao Shuang looked at Sima Yue and helped her out. That's right, I almost forgot about these people. Xia Chang Tian said, little Yue will talk about your matters later. Let's settle these trash first. So, the group of people walked towards the valley. Sima Yue looked at Han Miao Shuang gratefully. Han Miao Shuang looked back at her with a, I'll ask you later, expression and went down with Mao San Quan and the others. Sima Yue glared at Wu Lingyu, but seeing his innocent face she couldn't vent her anger. She humphed and went down. Wu Lingyu looked at her and his smile widened. President, who are these people? Zhang Fei asked. Who else could they be, the devils from the inner regions? Xia Chang Tian said, little Yue, how long can your medicine last? They can't move for 2 to 3 hours. Sima Yue said. That's good. Xia Chang Tian said, then we have time to interrogate them properly. Humph, don't think of getting anything out of us. That black-clothed man said, we won't betray master. That's not up to you. Xia Chang Tian took out a white pill. Seeing that pill, that black-clothed man was shocked. 100-worm pill. That's right. Xia Chang Tian said with a smile, come eat this pill and you'll tell the truth obediently. Don't even think about it. That black-clothed man obviously knew the horror of the 100-worm pill. After eating the poison hidden in his mouth, he quickly died. When the others saw this, they also ate the poison and ended their own lives. Xia Chang Tian didn't think that they would die just like that. He couldn't stop them in time, and those who were still alive all became corpses. Seems like these people are death warriors. Hong Yi said, but there are many powers in the inner regions that have death warriors. Strip them naked and see if you can find any clues. Xia Chang Tian ordered. Gao Zhihong glared at him and said to the guards, go and search, see if you can find any clues. Yes, Captain. Sima Yue looked at Gao Zhihong, then looked at Xia Chang Tian. Her eyes turned and felt like she smelled something different. Chapter 987. The guards searched for a bit, then stood up and said, Captain, we didn't find anything. These people didn't have any markings on them, nor did they have anything that could identify them. See if there's anything in their spatial rings. Red said. Sima Yue realized that Red Coat's status was not low. After she finished speaking, the guards went to check the interspatial rings. However, those people were already prepared for failure and didn't bring anything that could identify them. Therefore, after searching through those spatial rings, other than some elixirs and spirit weapons, he didn't find anything. Since they are death warriors, they naturally wouldn't leave anything behind for others. Mao Sanquan said. If we can't find out their identities, then the trail will end. They won't. Xia Chang Tian said, we'll know who's behind this when we return to the guild. This matter was definitely done by the Inner Circle, the Alchemist Guild and the Dan Alliance. Although these people were dead, the Alchemist Guild's mole was still there. As long as the mole was found, they would be able to find out who it was. Without evidence, I'm afraid it won't be easy to find those people. Zhang Fei said worriedly. If they don't confess, we'll beat them until they do. Hong Yi snorted coldly. It could be seen that this red-clothed beauty was definitely not a kind person. There are only a dozen or so days left until the pill competition. Let's go back earlier. Mao Sanquan said, if you don't go back now, I reckon your position will change hands. If that's really the case, then there's no need for us to find the traitor. Xia Chang Tian said. When they thought of the person who had harmed them, their hearts were filled with anger. They must find them and ruthlessly torture them. They summoned their flying beasts and flew towards the city. Those who were injured began to circulate their energy to heal themselves, while those who were lightly injured talked to Mao Sanquan and the others. There was another one that was rather special. He was clearly heavily injured, but he only ate medicinal pills and was unwilling to circulate his energy to heal his injuries. Little Yue, why don't you tell President how you two got together? Xia Chang Tian sat beside Sima Yue and asked with a smile. Wu Lingyu was on the other side of her. He didn't intend to help and wanted to hear what she had to say. Sima Yue did not want to answer this question and said, President, are you in such a hurry to ask for advice because Captain Gao did not accept you? The smile on Xia Chang Tian's face froze. He casually set up a barrier so that no one else could hear their conversation. As expected of a kindred spirit. You can tell at a glance. To hell with your kindred spirit. Sima Yue wanted to curse, but she couldn't say it out loud. She had to put on a smile and say, President, we can't force you to do this. We can only let nature take its course. The more you force him, the more disgusted he will be. Xia Chang Tian looked at the meditating Gao Jihong and said, "He doesn't dislike me, but he just doesn't want to be with me. Unlike your partner who isn't afraid to reveal your identities in public. Then you should give him time." Sima Yue said, "If you like him, you have to go along with his wishes. If you make him unhappy, you'll be angry and upset." "I think so. So, if he wants to announce it, then announce it. If he doesn't want to announce it, then don't announce it. As long as the two of you are happy, then it's fine. But I want to gain the recognition of the outside world, but he says that this will affect my reputation." Xia Chang Tian said, "We've even argued a few times because of this." Sima Yue was going crazy. Did this guy really think of her as a friend that he could confide in? Her heart was already filled with tears, wasn't it? "Actually, the two of you aren't wrong." She resisted the urge to beat them up and said, "You're just thinking for each other. But I agree with Captain Gao's way of doing things." "What?" "Think about it, you're the president of the Alchemist Guild. You're in charge of the Alchemist Guild in the outer and central regions." Sima Yue said, "In the eyes of the world, you're a grandmaster alchemist, a high and mighty figure. If others know that you like a man, your image will be greatly affected. He likes you, so he doesn't want others to look down on you." Xia Chang Tian was silent for a while, then sighed and said, "I know what you're saying, but I want to always be with him and not behind others. I feel that you're not the kind of person who likes men, it's just that the person you like is a man." Sima Yue expressed her feelings, "But since you like him, you have to think for him." Xia Chang Tian looked at her emotionally, feeling that he had really found a confidant. In the past he really liked women, but now, other than Gao Zhihong, he didn't have any feelings for other men. It was really what she said. He didn't like men, it was just that the person he liked was a man. Sima Yue was frightened by his expression. Did she say something that she shouldn't have? Cough cough, you said to think for him. Do you think I'm not thinking for him enough? I want to give him an identity. Xia Chang Tian saw that she was stunned and asked. You want to give him an open and honorable identity. This is a good idea. Sima Yue leaned towards Wu Lingyu and continued, but have you thought about it? If you announce your relationship, it will hurt him. Others may think that he seduced you and led you astray, and then all kinds of dirty words will be thrown at him. They don't dare to say anything about you, but what about your guard? Are you willing to see him being pointed at by others? Xia Chang Tian was silent. This was something that he didn't think of before. He didn't care if others looked down on him, but he didn't want others to insult him. Love is actually a matter between two people. You like him, he likes you, and that's enough. You don't have to care about what others think. Whether it's blessings, insults, or disdain, it has nothing to do with you. After all, this is a life between the two of you. Sima Yue spoke her thoughts. Xia Chang Tian pondered over Sima Yue's words and suddenly understood something. He patted her shoulder and said, So little Yue sees things more clearly than me. No wonder you don't have anything to worry about. I understand what you're saying now. Thank you. After speaking, he removed the barrier and went to Gao Zhihong's side. Sima Yue pursed her lips. If he understood, then he understood. Why did he have to drag her into it? Wu Lingyu's laughter came from beside her. She glared at him fiercely. Seeing his gloating face, she reached out her hands and rubbed his face. And in Xia Chang Tian's eyes, this proved that she didn't have to care about what others thought. Wu Lingyu grabbed her little hand and whispered in her ear, I like what you said. If you were a man, I think I would still like you. Scram. Sima Yue couldn't help but scold him. Even if he could accept it, she couldn't. Although she didn't discriminate, she never thought that she would have a day like this. Fortunately, both of them were normal. Ha ha ha. Wu Lingyu saw her like this and laughed even more happily. With the help of the bees, they avoided all the attacks on the way and successfully arrived at the city gates. Chapter 988. They changed the guards. Zhao Xianqi observed for a while and said in a deep voice, These people aren't your people? Han Miao Shuang asked. And Xia Chang Tian's expression wasn't good either. Aren't you the president and alliance master? These people aren't your men? Little Seven asked. These people don't look familiar. Zhao Xiangqi said, They shouldn't be from the Union. Since you're not from the Union, why are you here? It must be the work of a traitor. Han Miao Shuang said, If that's the case, can we go in? Will it be dangerous inside? Let's give it a try. Red Coat said. What if you don't open the door? Mao Sanquan continued, Based on the situation we saw earlier, they've taken control of the entire city. So, if they don't recognize your faces, you too will die if you go there now. Sima Yue said, Anyway, the people in the city won't know if we kill you here. What a straightforward little fellow. Yue is right. If I kill you outside, the people inside won't know. Mao Sanquan said, moreover they have more people here. Although you have your own people, I think they won't be as fast as the other party. That's true. Red Coat said, when you're not around they have to listen to those people's orders. Then we're not going in? Zhang Ming asked. Think of a way to get in, Gao Jihong said. As long as we get in, they won't dare to deny it in front of everyone. You'll have to get there first. Zhang Fei said, and if we want to find out the real culprit, we have to create a commotion here so that those people can be prepared. There are only a few spies with power. It's not hard to find them. Xia Changtian said. But it's impossible to find all of them. Therefore, you can only enter secretly. That's impossible. Zhao Xiangqi said, if it was so easy to sneak into Cloud Sea City, then it wouldn't be a mysterious city. Mysterious city? Sima Yue looked at Wu Lingyu, hoping that he would tell her more about it. Most people only know that Cloud Sea City is the location of the Alchemist Guild and the Pill Alliance, but they don't know where it is. Wu Lingyu said, usually, it's impossible to enter even if you want to. There were tight formations and barriers here. You have to know that they are also very familiar with the people from the Array Masters Guild. What if I want to sneak in? Sima Yue asked. There's no doubt that it will be discovered. People from any faction? It's useless if the Celestial Emperor is here. Wu Lingyu shrugged. Wasn't this nonsense? Is there an Imperial Emperor now? She glared at Wu Lingyu. When she turned around, she saw Mao Sanquan looking at her with burning eyes. Director Mao, why are you looking at me like that? She shrunk her neck. You have a way for them to sneak in, right? 10 minutes later, they passed through the clouds and arrived at the bottom of the city wall. At this time, there were only people from the Sea Star Palace and the sect. If we go in like this, how will the dean and the others go in? Zhang Ming asked. You'll know when the time comes. Mao Sanquan said, let's go into the city now. When they arrived at the city gate, the guards at the city gate noticed them immediately. Who is it? We're back. Mao Sanquan said, don't tell me that you won't recognize us after 10 days. Invitation. Mao Sanquan opened the invitation and the symbol appeared. Open the door. The city gate slowly opened. Mao Sanquan led the people in. The city gate closed immediately. Go and tell the president that these people are back. The captain of the guards called someone over and ordered. Yes. The guard accepted the order and left. I didn't expect them to come back alive. Could it be that things have changed? Mao Sanquan and Zhang Fei went to the Pill Alliance. Sima Yue and Han Miao Shuang went back to the inn. You're finally back. If you didn't come back, we would be worried to death. Fu Xiaodai, the only female alchemist other than Yu and Han Miao Shuang. When she saw them coming back, she quickly went up to them. When the other students and teachers saw them, they came down from upstairs. What's wrong? Sima Yue saw their worried faces and asked, did something happen? Nothing happened to us. We heard that you went outside. We also heard that the people who went out didn't come back. Fu Xiaodai said, you left for so many days. We were worried that you wouldn't come back. Who did you hear it from? Sima Yue asked. They didn't tell the other students about this. The people from the Pill Alliance and the Alchemist Guild wouldn't say it either. But they knew about it now. When we went out earlier, we had a conflict with a lady in green clothes. Their people said it. Fu Xiaodai said. Who is she? I think she's a young lady from the guild. Fu Xiaodai said, she said that she wanted her grandfather to disqualify us from the competition. A grandfather who can disqualify us from the competition? Seems like he has a lot of power. Sima Yue said, how did you offend her? Although they didn't have any contact with her, they could imagine what kind of lady she was. It's all my fault. She and I saw the same herb at the same time and we had a conflict. Fu Xiaodai said. Now that Director Mao is back, nothing will happen. Sima Yue said, you don't have to care about those young ladies. Where's Director Mao? A teacher asked. He went to the Pill Alliance. He should be back soon. Sima Yue said. Then she said to Wu Lingyu who was beside her, I'll get a room for you. No need. I'll just stay in your room. Wu Lingyu said. No. Two voices of objection sounded at the same time. One was Yue and the other was Little Seven. I'm staying with Yue. How can you kick me out? Little Seven said with her hands on her hips. You're a girl. If you want to stay with a girl, you can stay with your senior. Wu Lingyu said. There are so many rooms. You can find one yourself. Sima Yue objected. There are no more rooms here. Wu Lingyu said innocently. How do you know? I guessed. If you don't believe me, you can ask the shopkeeper. Sima Yue glanced at Wu Lingyu and looked behind the counter. The fat shopkeeper saw everyone looking over and saw Wu Lingyu twirling the ring on his finger. He smiled and said, I'm really sorry. We don't have any more empty rooms here. No more rooms? Didn't you say there were a few more? I heard you talking to the waiter just now. Fu Xiaodai said suspiciously. About that, it was booked by someone just now. The shopkeeper said, so we don't have any more rooms now. If you want to stay here, you can only squeeze in a little. Sima Yue looked at Wu Lingyu. He had a proud smile on his face as if he had guessed correctly. Chapter 989. In the end, there was no suspense. Little Seven was chased to Han Miao Shuang's side, and Wu Lingyu succeeded. Sima Yue could not help but shudder when she thought of the word, superior. Han Miao Shuang and Su Xiaoxiao followed Sima Yue to her room. Once the door was closed, both of them stared at Wu Lingyu. Who is he? Han Miao Shuang asked. They had to ask about this person's situation clearly. Their little junior sister couldn't be casually cheated away by others. They had to check carefully. Sima Yue looked at Wu Lingyu and wondered if she should reveal his identity. Wu Lingyu took off the illusion ring and returned to his original appearance. You are Wu Lingyu? When Han Miao Shuang saw Wu Lingyu, she couldn't remain calm. Did she recognize the wrong person? Or was she hallucinating? Junior sister's boyfriend was actually the holy son of the Sage Pavilion? It's the real deal. Wu Lingyu went forward and hugged Sima Yue. I heard from Yue that you guys took care of her. Thank you. Sima Yue raised her eyebrows. This guy was acting like a saint again. About that, you're welcome. She's our junior sister. Han Miao Shuang stuttered. Senior sister, you don't have to be so dramatic, right? Sima Yue was speechless. You don't know this, but he's the only man she's ever praised before, Su Xiao said. Now that he suddenly appeared in front of her, she must be very excited. Sima Yue widened her eyes and looked at Han Miao Shuang in disbelief. Wu Lingyu's pretentious act actually earned her praise? Was his disguise too good, or was she too easily fooled? But junior sister, you seem to have a grudge with the Sage Pavilion, right? Han Miao Shuang recalled Sima Yu's incident. She had heard her mention some things about the Sage Pavilion. But he's also my senior brother, Sima Yue said. Anyway, it's fine as long as he doesn't obstruct me when I'm doing something. Not only would he not obstruct her, he would even help her. Oh, that's good. Han Miao Shuang said, Sai, why do I feel like my little girl has been kidnapped? I think it's better for me and junior sister to stay together. It's not good for you guys to be alone. Han Miao Shuang suddenly suggested. If you come in now, in the eyes of others, you'll be a single man and woman, Wu Lingyu said. All right, little junior sister, you, bang. Han Miao Shuang's words were interrupted by the sound of a collision downstairs, followed by the shouts of the Alchemist Guild students. Let's go down and take a look. Sima Yue said as she ran down. Han Miao Shuang and the others followed. In the main hall of the inn, a table had been crushed into pieces. 2 students from the academy were lying on top of it, groaning as they clutched their chests. The others stood in the middle of the main hall, protecting Fu Xiaodai in the middle. At the entrance, a few guards from the Alchemist Guild cupped their fists, facing the academy students. A lady in green stood in front, holding a long whip in her hand. Humph, I've said it before, as long as you guys are in this city, you won't be able to escape. Zhan Lu pulled the whip in her hand, looking at Fu Xiaodai with contempt. Fu Xiaodai squeezed through the academy students and came to the front, facing Zhan Lu. She shouted coldly, At that time I was the one who chose the medicinal ingredient first, not to mention that you snatched it away forcefully. Now you're beating people up. You're so unreasonable. So what if I'm unreasonable? Zhan Lu smiled evilly. I have the capital, do you? If you have it, you can do it too. You. Fu Xiaodai was so infuriated by her thick skin that she was speechless. What exactly do you want to do? Very simple, kneel down in front of this young miss and say that you're wrong. You shouldn't have offended this young Mississippi. In the future, if you see this young miss, you should take a detour and call me great aunt a few more times, then I'll let you off. Zhan Lu said. Don't even think about it. Fu Xiaodai didn't even think about it and rejected. Asking her to kneel down in front of this person, that was impossible. You're not willing? Then I'll beat you until you're willing. Zhan Lu said as she waved the whip in her hand towards Fu Xiaodai. Junior sister, move aside. The academy's people pulled Fu Xiaodai aside, narrowly avoiding that attack. Jean Luer's attack didn't hit her and she said to the guards beside her, "Capture those people for me." Yes, young Mississippi, the Academy's people were all alchemist masters and their abilities were originally lower than others. Now that they met these guards, they weren't their opponents at all. With just a pressure from them, they were unable to move. I'll see where you can escape to this time." Jean Luer gave a cold smile and continued to wave her whip. Fu Xiaodai also took out her own weapon and went up, but there was a certain gap in their abilities and she quickly fell into a disadvantageous position. Sima Yue looked at the scene below from upstairs and said, "I don't understand why those unruly young misses like to use whips. Don't tell me that this shows her unruly nature?" "Who knows?" Han Miao Shuang said, "I hate people who use whips the most." "Me too," Little Seven said. "Watch me." Little Seven jumped down after saying that. "Don't kill her," Sima Yue shouted at her. Fu Xiaodai was forced to the side of the wall. Seeing that Jean Luer was about to swing her whip at her face, she stopped in front of her and heard Little Seven's shout. "You still have the cheek to show off such an ugly whip." After Little Seven finished speaking, she grabbed the whip and pulled it forcefully. The entire whip was split into a few pieces. Little Seven's body is comparable to a spirit beast's. Han Miao Shuang saw Little Seven destroy a spirit weapon with her bare hands and sighed. Sima Yue felt that Little Seven was quite similar to her. She had also destroyed other people's whips the last time and she was doing the same now. Jean Luer didn't have time to react and her spirit weapon was destroyed, especially since the other party was a child. She was stunned and shouted, "Who are you?" "I'm your little granddad." After Little Seven finished speaking, she kicked her stomach and sent her crashing onto a table. The table beneath her was smashed into pieces. The degree of smashing was similar to the Academy's smashing. "Young miss." The guards of the Alchemist Guild were enraged. Jean Luer was beaten up in front of them. If this were to spread out, would they still have any face? They would definitely be punished when they returned. They attacked together. Regardless of whether Little Seven was a child or not, all the attacks were directed at Little Seven alone. Little Seven's figure flashed and everyone only saw a blur in front of their eyes. Those guards were all sent flying to the streets outside. "Ah, ouch!" Those guards fell heavily on the ground and a few of them couldn't help but cry out. The people on the streets were shocked by the sudden situation. When they took a closer look, it was actually the people from the Alchemist Guild who were beaten up. They all hid at the side to watch the show. Beating up the guards of the Alchemist Guild in the Cloud Sea City was something that had never happened before. These people were probably going to be in trouble. They didn't know who was so ignorant. Chapter 990. In everyone's eyes, beating up the people from the Alchemist Guild was no different from pulling a tooth from the tiger's mouth. It was simply an act of seeking death. How many years has it been since something like this happened? At least, none of the people present had ever seen one before. "How dare you hit my Alchemist Guild's people?" The guard captain crawled up from the ground and shouted at Fu Xiaodai and the rest. "Humph, little grand and is hitting you?" Little Seven jumped out from the inn. She placed her hands on her hips and confronted them. "Does your heavenly sect still think this is Heavenly Sect City?" Jean Luer climbed up. "Humph, just you wait, I will definitely make you all die." "You don't have the right to say whether or not we will die, but I know that if you don't scram you will die," Seven said. Sima Yue walked out from inside and came to Little Seven's side. She looked at the people from the Alchemist Guild and said, "We are here. If the Alchemist Guild really wants to deal with us unreasonably, we will welcome you anytime." "Who are you?" Jean Luer looked at Sima Yue. She didn't see her just now, but from the way Little Seven looked at her, she seemed to be the one who spoke here. If that was the case, then the reason why this little guy came to beat them up was all because of this person. "Me." Sima Yue smiled evilly. "Sky Heaven Academy, Sima Yue, you better remember this." "I'll remember this. Just you wait. Let's go." After Jean Luer finished speaking, she led her men away in a sorry state. The surrounding people who were watching the show hadn't seen enough when they saw the people from the Alchemist Guild leave with their tails between their legs. They were extremely curious. In the past they were all bossy and domineering. Why did they give up so easily today? The Heavenly Sect's people offended the Alchemist Guild. They're doomed. Just wait and see. They won't let this go so easily. We have something interesting to watch again. Those people were discussing about leaving. Many people had noticed them and were waiting to see a good show. Fu Xiaodai came to Sima Yue's side and said, "You don't have to be like this. This matter was originally directed at me. She saw the way Jean Lua looked at Sima Yue as if she wanted to eat her up. Now that she left like this, she would definitely find trouble with Yue in the future. What little seven did is no different from what I did. Sima Yue said, besides we're all from the academy. How can we watch you guys get bullied and not stand up for you? That's not the spirit of our academy. Thank you. Fu Xiaodai looked at her touched. No need to thank me. If Director Mao was here he definitely wouldn't let anyone suffer. Sima Yue said, alright, let's go and see how the others are doing. Yes. Fu Xiaodai nodded and went in to check on the 2 injured students. Headmaster Yuan will be very happy if he knows that you protected the students of the academy. Sima Yue said as she hugged Little Seven's shoulders. Little Seven smiled. She had seen through her. She promised old Yuan that she would protect the students of the academy. This time she had fulfilled her promise. Let's go in. Sima Yue hugged Little Seven and went in. When she went upstairs, Han Miao Shuang and Su Xiao looked at her from the staircase. What's wrong, senior sister? You're a little strange. Han Miao Shuang said. Sima Yue usually didn't like to be in the limelight. But when she went out just now, it was obvious that she took the blame. Am I? Sima Yue smiled. Yes. Han Miao Shuang said confidently, what do you want to do? Nothing much. I'm just curious about the Alchemist Guild. I want to take a look. Sima Yue walked past them and went back to her room. Wu Lingyu didn't go out the whole time, but it didn't mean that he didn't know what was going on outside. He laid on the bed and supported his head with his right hand. His left hand beckoned her to walk over. Sima Yue sat down beside the bed. He sat up and hugged her from behind, asking, why do you want to go to the Alchemist Guild? Yes. Sima Yue leaned on his chest and asked. It's definitely not to do something good. Wu Lingyu rested his chin on her neck and held her hand with both hands. Sima Yue pulled her hand out and played with his slender fingers, saying, when did I do something bad? No. You're always doing proper business. Wu Lingyu followed her words. Then tell me, what proper business do you have to do? Sima Yue smiled, saying, I want to take out the Bodhi mushroom. Before those old men go back, I want to settle this matter. Bodhi mushroom? What do you want that for? It's not me who wants it, it's Third Mo who wants it. Sima Yue said. She told him about how she met Third Mo when she just arrived. After Wu Lingyu heard this, he unhappily bit her shoulder, saying, why are you so concerned about other men's matters? You say it as if I don't care about your matters. Sima Yue reached out and knocked his head. Do you need my help? Wu Lingyu asked. No need. You can just wait for me here. I'll be back tomorrow at the latest. You're so sure? If I don't come out tomorrow, you can come and pick me up. She believed that Mao Sanquan wouldn't let her stay in there for too long. But since he was worried, it would be good to let him come. With the speed of the Alchemist Guild, they'll be here in half an hour. Sleep with me for a while. Wu Lingyu hugged Sima Yue and laid down. The two of them laid on the bed and chatted for a while. After half an hour, the people from the Alchemist Guild arrived. Where's Sima Yue and that little girl? Luo Ming brought people to the inn and shouted loudly in the hall. Oh, Commander Luo is here. The innkeeper saw Luo Ming and came from behind the counter saying, is there anything I can do for you? Are Sima Yue and that little girl from the Heavenly Sect still here? Luo Ming didn't even look at him as he scanned the entire inn with his eagle eyes. Yes. The innkeeper said, I'll get someone to call them. No need, we're here. Sima Yue and Little Seven came down from upstairs and looked at Luo Ming, saying, you guys are really slow. We've been waiting for you guys for so long. Seems like the efficiency of the Alchemist Guild isn't high. Beating up the guild's guards. This is unforgivable. Capture them. Luo Ming waved his hand and those guards went forward to capture the two of them. Fu Xiaodai and the rest wanted to come down but were stopped by Han Miao Shuang. Don't worry, they'll be fine. Instructor Mao and the rest will be back soon. What right do you have to capture us? Sima Yue pretended to struggle. Because this is Cloud Sea City. Luo Ming sneered, take them away. Let go, we can walk on our own. Sima Yue broke free from them and stared at Luo Ming, saying, you invited me in today, don't regret it tomorrow. A mere heavenly sect doesn't have the right to make me regret. Take them away. Chapter 991. Read 336. Luo Ming waved his hand and those people brought Sima Yue and Little Seven away. When the people outside saw that Sima Yue and Little Seven were taken away by the people from the Union, Some felt sorry for them while some gloated over their misfortune. Like I said, offending the people of the Union here is simply courting death. So I heard that the heavenly sect was already at odds with the Academy. Originally, their position in the Pill Alliance was in jeopardy during this alchemy competition, and now they've been caught. So I'm afraid the Academy is doomed this time. That may not be the case. The people of the heavenly sect are not easy to deal with. This time it was Mao Sanquan who came. Although he couldn't compare to Su Jin, it was said that when he got angry he was also very irritable. He's also very protective of his students. Then there will be a good show to watch. Just wait and see. Sima Yue and Little Seven followed Luo Ming and the rest to the Alchemist Guild. They didn't go through the main entrance but went through a back door. Take them to the prison. I'll go report to Mississippi, Luo Ming instructed the guard. Be careful, don't let anyone else get close to you. Yes, Commander. Enjoy your life here. Luo Ming glanced at Sima Yue and Little Seven before the guards brought them away. They passed through 2 courtyards. Unlike the other courtyards, each courtyard had a large plot of land to grow some medicinal herbs. They walked around the courtyard and headed towards the prison. Little Seven held Sima Yue's hand and winked at her. When are we going to do it? Sima Yue looked around. The location was rather remote and there was no one around. With a thought, a faint fragrance floated around. Do you smell anything? A guard frowned and asked the person beside him. There seems to be some kind of fragrance, the man said. I didn't smell like this when I walked here before. Could there be something? That's not right. The man fell before he could finish his words. Before the others could figure out what was going on, they fainted as well. Yu, I'll go with you. Little Seven kicked the person beside her. You have to stay here and watch over them, Sima Yue said. Don't let anyone find out. Furthermore, you can't enter the enchantment barrier. Alright then. I'll wait here. Little Seven agreed reluctantly. Sima Yue followed the route that the bees pointed out to her and avoided the patrolling guards. She successfully arrived at their so-called medicine garden. There was indeed a barrier. There was a slight fluctuation in the space. She called out Little Roar and fused with him before walking in. She looked at the herb garden and pursed her lips. The things here were really not that good. They were far worse than the ones in the Spirit Pagoda. There was nothing that she liked. There is. As you. As she was before. The soil was freshly plowed and the soil was still fresh. She followed Third Mo's instructions and dug a little. She saw a jade box. She picked up the jade box but did not open it. She was afraid that the fragrance would attract attention. With a thought, she kept the box in her spirit pagoda and passed it to Third Mo. When she got up, she saw that a stalk of herb was covered in soil. She moved over and brushed the soil off. Then she tidied up the leaves of the herb. That is the place where the Bodhi mushroom was planted. A warm voice sounded from behind. Sima Yue was shocked. She turned around and saw a man sitting on a wheelchair. He was smiling at her. Although he said he was looking, his eyes were not focused. He should be someone with eye problems. When did this person appear here? Why didn't she notice him? She wondered if he saw her digging for the Bodhi mushroom. She did not feel awkward or helpless after being caught in the act. She calmly sized up the person in front of her. His hands were casually placed on the armrests of the wheelchair. His beautiful face revealed a sickly fatigue. He looked at Sima Yue calmly. It was as if he saw her small movements. Who are you? When did you come? Sima Yue took 2 steps forward and looked at him cautiously. I have always been here. You just didn't notice. The man said, You can call me Xianqiu. Xianqiu? Sima Yue thought for a while. She had never heard of this name. She did not know who he was. Yes. Xianqiu smiled and nodded. You have always been here? Sima Yue asked. Yes. Xianqiu admitted. He did not say whether he saw her or not. What are you doing here? Smelling the herbs. Smelling the herbs? Sima Yue frowned. Did he smell the Bodhi mushroom and came here? Don't worry. I will not tell anyone about you. Xianqiu pointed out what she was worried about. You really saw it? No, how did he know what she was thinking? She looked at him and thought about how to deal with this. Your matters have nothing to do with me. Xianqiu explained. Why do you want to keep it a secret from me? Sima Yue did not understand. Because I have nothing to do with the Alchemist Guild. Xianqiu said, I am a blind person and a cripple. I will not care about anything that I can. Not knowing why, Sima Yue heard a faint disappointment in his words. Then what are you doing here? Are you really here to smell the herbs? She did not believe him. For a person who does not know what color is, smell is an important way for us to perceive the world. Xianqiu crossed his fingers. I cannot see what the world looks like, but I can smell them. Have you always been blind? Seeing his peaceful look, Sima Yue walked over. I heard from others that I could see when I was 1 or 2 years old. So it's not that I couldn't see. It's just that I don't have any memories of that time. Xianqiu teased. A child of 1 or 2 years old did not have any memories. Even if he saw what the world looked like, how could he remember? So he did not know what color the sky was or what flowers looked like. You didn't see a doctor? I did, but no doctor could find the reason. Because I couldn't see, I got used to it. But you want to see the world, right? Sima Yue said, you want to know what the world looks like, what color the sky is and what color it is. You don't just rely on your divine sense to distinguish the things around you. Xianqiu's smile deepened. You know how people like me think. Have you experienced it before? Chapter 992. Sima Yue shook her head. She was not blind. She had experienced life and death and had seen the impermanence of the world. She thought more than others. Moreover, her soul was very sensitive and could easily sense other people's thoughts. Since you didn't, how did you know? Because you just said that you were smelling this place. A person who is curious about the taste of the world, and is also curious about this world. Sima Yue said, am I right? Haha. He chuckled and did not deny it. You said that you're not a member of the Alchemist Guild, and that you came here to find someone to treat your eyes? Sima Yue looked at the man. The aura he was emitting made her want to chat with him. Sort of. Xianqiu said. Have you found someone who can cure you? Xianqiu shook his head. I want to find their president, but he's not here. Xia Chang Tian isn't here, so of course you won't be able to find him. Sima Yue thought to herself. That's why you waited for him at the Union. Wait, isn't there a wizardry barrier here? How did you get in? Sima Yue asked in surprise. I was the one who set up this barrier. Of course I can come in. Xianqiu said, a few days ago, I heard that the guild's treasure was stolen. The vice president asked me to help set up this enchantment. I specifically chose a more stable barrier, but it seems that it won't be of any use to you. Sima Yue shrugged and did not answer him. However, what surprised her the most was that this barrier was actually set up by him. The Alchemist Guild actually invited an outsider to set up a barrier. This meant that this person must be very powerful. Unfortunately, he was blind and his legs were crippled. Are you looking for the Bodhi Ganoderma? Are you with the person from before? Xianqiu didn't ask her about her ability to pass through the enchantment and changed the topic. Why don't you say that I'm the same person as before? Sima Yue raised her eyebrows. When I came to set up the barrier, I smelled the remnants of his scent. It smells different from yours. Your smell is very clean. Xianqiu said. Clean? Is there such a thing as clean? Sima Yue asked curiously. She had only heard of fragrant and smelly things, but she had never heard of clean or unclean things. Of course. Xianqiu smiled but did not say anything. Even if she said those things, it would be different. Then I'll take it as a compliment. Sima Yue said, I have something to do, so I won't talk to you. I hope we can meet again next time. Xianqiu said. Okay. Sima Yue turned around after taking 2 steps and said, will you keep this a secret for me? Xianqiu nodded. Thank you. By the way, if you're looking for the president, he should be back in a few days. Goodbye. Sima Yue knew that he could not see her, but she still waved at him and turned to leave. After she left, a figure slowly appeared behind Xianqiu. Young master, should we investigate this person? Xianqiu thought for a while, nodded and said lightly, it's rare to meet someone who smells so clean, it's okay to get to know him. Be careful not to let him know, some people don't like people asking about them. Yes. That person replied and disappeared again. Xianqiu pushed the chair and accurately avoided the herbs and left the herb garden. Sima Yue returned to her original spot. Little Seven was bored watching the ants moving. Seeing her return, she threw away the branch in her hand and said, You're finally back. Why were you gone for so long? Did something happen? I'll tell you later. Sima Yue took out the antidote and scattered it in the air. Then she pulled Little Seven to the ground and pretended to faint. When the guards smelled the antidote, they slowly woke up. When they realized that they had fainted, they were so shocked that they jumped up. Wake up, wake up. The first guard who woke up shook the people beside him, and they woke up too. What happened? I don't know, everyone fainted. Is the prisoner still there? Yes, she's still lying there. I'll quickly go and wake them up. Big brother, what happened to us? There's probably some master who made some poison. As long as the prisoner is still there, it's fine. Let's go bring them to the dungeon. Sima Yue and Little Seven were woken up. They pretended that they did not know anything and followed those people to the dungeon. Go in. Those people pushed the two of them into the dungeon and locked them up. Then they left without even looking at them. The dungeon of the Alchemist Guild was considered clean. There were no cockroaches or rats and it was not dark or damp. Other than the bad environment, it was still acceptable. Sima Yue found a relatively clean place to sit down. Little Seven went over and sat beside her, asking, "What happened to you?" "I met someone," Sima Yue said. "Met someone?" Little Seven cried out in surprise. "You were discovered?" Sima Yue nodded and told her about Shen Qiu, a blind and crippled person. "Did he really see you take the Bodhi mushroom?" Little Seven was doubtful. Although he didn't see it, he should have felt it. Sima Yue said, "And some people can feel it even if they can't see it with their eyes." "That's true." Little Seven said, "Will he really keep it a secret for you?" "Probably." Sima Yue said, "He doesn't look like a nosy person. If he really wanted to report me, he would have called for help. Moreover, even if he said it, he wouldn't know what I look like or who I am. If he finds me through my smell, I have a way to change that. But others can't find me through my smell." "You've thought it through." Little Seven said, "No wonder you're not worried at all." "All right, now that we've said it, let's wait here peacefully," Sima Yue said as she closed her eyes and began to meditate. How long do we have to wait here?" Little Seven asked. "Tomorrow at the latest." Sima Yue said, "If Director Mao and the rest don't come tomorrow, Senior Brother will get me out." "Then we have to stay here for so long." Little Seven was a little bored. She couldn't enter the spirit pagoda here. She could only learn from Sima Yue and cultivate here. Sima Yue and the rest waited here for less than a day. There was movement outside, then the door of the dungeon was opened. The sound of wheels could be heard from outside. Sima Yue looked at the person in front of her and asked in surprise, "Shen Qiu, why are you here?" Was he planning to spread the news of her getting the Bodhi mushroom? The person beside Shen Qiu gave the jailer a look. The jailer immediately opened the door. He personally led Sima Yue out and smiled. "I didn't expect young Master Sima to be young Master Shen Qiu's friend. It's a pleasure to meet you. I didn't expect it to be a misunderstanding. Young Master Sima, please come out." Sima Yue looked at Shen Qiu. What was going on? "You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure."